And now, to let people know we exist.
Wait, we have to be perceived? I don't know if I signed on for that.
That's why we got a slim censor silhouette, Corvidian. Jesus.
Yeah.
There we go. And there we go. And there we are. Hello. This is the Electric Metropolis video game tour. I'm 80 Springer, also known as Corbinian, and we are beginning the first episode of a new set of Star Trek adventures as part of the 10th Expeditionary Fleet. As we look to a space station far and away, deep in the Shackleton Expanse, a bright green saucer hovering over a planet with flickering lights dancing about its surface and about it. Strange ships with seeming tendrils drifting behind them as they propulse forward and around. And then we scan over to a starship of the United Federation of Planets. I believe it is the USS Da Vinci A, if I'm not mistaken. A Obena class. There she is. As it carries on a great number of Starfleet citizens, Federation citizens, to take on the responsibility and sacred role of not only making Halanak Station their home, but to help defend it and the worlds it represents in the free information sphere. This is a two-threat game, as we swing the camera over the bridge of the Da Vinci. Here on Stardate 60500. Sitting at the bridge is, of all things that many Starfleet officers, over quite a bit of time, they never would think this would happen. And if it did, it would be considered a great shame. But now, times are changing. As whom sits in that chair is a centurion of the Romulan Navy.
Well, one of them anyway.
At present, the ship is due to arrive at Halanak Station. It used to have quite some time. About 3 hours yet, if you maintain cruising speed. You're not really going as fast as possible because there's no huge rush. Most of today, is going to be ceremonies and shaking hands, or appendages, I suppose. It's a big event, so it's a big, there's not a lot of, and even then, all of the bigwigs are already there. The only other bigwig that's not present, or won't be present today on this historic day of the signing of the Halanak Agreement, is Captain Pend, who decided not to go on the Da Vinci A and got arrangements on a different ship. That ship has been delayed, so he won't be showing up on the day. But hey, the Da Vinci can still show up with the bulk of the crew that was going to go aboard. But I wonder, what does Centurion Rylov think of this new assignment that he is, and new endeavor he's taken? And last we checked, for those who watched, who came from the USS Achilles game, Rylov is the same Rylov. It's just that he's no longer in Starfleet. He is now a Romulan naval officer. On the Senate side, rather than the Tal Shiar Imperial side.
Yeah, it'd be a bit awkward if he's on the Tel Shiar side.
I don't think you'd be allowed on the ship. I'm pretty certain.
No. Must be a different uniform.
It's true.
I believe it's got more black in it.
What are Ralph's thoughts?
It's not entirely a surprise, but at the same time, it's somewhat unexpected that he is, well, back with some of the same people, let alone back with Starfleet, even if it is in an exchanged capacity. Though he understands the reasoning why. It's a bit more, almost relaxed. He's a bit more relaxed about it, oddly enough.
And we swing the camera over to a science station that we've seen filled by this officer before, but on a very different ship. This is the newer model, the newer class of ships, as the Abena is part of the new initiative of exploration and secondary contact and more peaceable era, a post-war era. And here's a officer who, I believe he joined the cadets after the Dominion War. This officer is one of those guys who would have been aware of the war, but never served during it. Ensign Ven, the science officer of the vessel, I believe?
Yes. Ensign Ven, chief science officer of the Obena.
Of the Da Vinci? There are more than one Obena.
Oh, yes, of the Da Vinci. A.
Yes, that's true.
So it's the second Da Vinci, actually.
That's true.
He is human, although he is actually half Betazoid, which anyone who looked at his eyes could tell you, because he's got the black pupils, the black irises, and just, he does not have any colored iris. So anyone who's familiar with Betazoids as one of the big Federation species would recognize it. And currently he's just sort of tapping away at the sensor console. He's been getting himself used to the new setup. He's used to, there being a couple more people crowded around, but fortunately this new system here seems to be doing a lot of the work for him, and he's really getting into it now.
What's his thoughts on this assignment and the Halanak agreement?
Well, it's a matter of politics, and politics are always messy and uneven. But that's not my department. It is not my place as an ensign to opine on such matters until that opinion is asked for. Although personally, he thinks that this is a good thing in the general terms. But there's always uncertainty when it comes to things like this. And for a scientist like him, it's just a matter of fleshing out those uncertainties.
The camera then swings over away from the rather relaxed and pensive bridge into the ready room where Commander Throlic, the captain of the Da Vinci A, sits, and she is, as I recall, the USS Da Vinci A is named after the original USS Da Vinci, which was also captained by a Throlic.
Correct, it was. It was captained by Throlic's father in the Dominion War. It was the ship that he died with. So, I'm not quite sure how I feel about that yet.
There's a certain amount of politicking that may have happened among the after the USS Achilles was reassigned to one of the home fleets in the Alpha Quadrant to placate the neo-originalist political faction. There may have been some pushback by certain Andorian progressives who wanted to ensure that the legacy of esteemed members of the Andorian community was not trampled upon.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
As you have the Shishishrir clan and the Kith Shishishrir and the Kith Thralic, both being senior officers of that ship. So not a great look to the Andorian senators if you make both of them be, I don't know, colony administrators or instructors of basic survival back on Earth or something.
Indeed.
But what does Thralic think of this new assignment, this new ship, and being garrisoned out of Halanak Station under Captain Pend?
It's not at all what she was anticipating would be her next career move, but she's looking forward to it. She's read up on the peoples of the Free Information Sphere and is looking forward to getting back to doing some things that she actually hasn't done in her career in Starfleet, really, which is a lot of diplomatic outreach and maybe some exploration.
The ship is yours. What do the three of you do?
I think I'm probably reading up on the contact protocols and the duties that I have to fulfill in the absence of station commander, if there's going to be any handoff that I have to be present for.
I'll call that Reason Command Difficulty 1, assisted by a computer's command. Fairly easy thing to do because you've had travel time to be doing this. You've probably been doing this on and off since you left Narendra Station.
Yep, definitely.
Because I imagine you guys didn't fire off your QSD to get from Narendra to here.
No. It's new tech. And the warp works fine. Well, warp drive works fine. The warp is unpredictable, but we don't have to contend with that. I'm not sure if I have a focus for this. Would observation cut it?
Complication increase. It's related, but not what I'm looking for.
Yeah. Do we have an admiralty focus? And is it diplomacy?
Not at present. You guys haven't been formally recognized by the presiding speaker.
All right.
Who would be the closest equivalent until such time that they assign a liaison officer to you?
Then I do not have the focus here.
Well, actually, I take that back. You would have a mission to get there, so actually, you would still be under the auspice of Grennan at that point. So, yep, he's in guest character list. The Rear Admiral responsible for the interior group, which Halanak Station falls under, but the unique relationship with the Halanak agreement was going to make things... It's going to split responsibilities a bit.
Right.
So then is Grennan providing a focus?
Yep.
I'd suggest not strategy and tactics.
Maybe diplomacy or negotiation or...
I was going to say, if so, negotiation is one of my three admiralty focuses.
Yep.
GM, would you take negotiation as a focus for this role?
I would take it in that auspice that it's you're doing your homework before you sit down for negotiation. Yeah.
Cool. Just roll that straight up. Why did I only roll one die?
You're allowed to roll
Why
2.
then complicate?
Why?
Okay, so...
I didn't ask for a D2 roll 20.
And so it begins.
And
And
ship's
so
computer's command.
Yep. Let's see. Ship's computers command.
Also, the players...
What an amazing start.
The players, Counselor Aza and Counselor Slaya, may want to change the roll 20 names.
That isn't. None of that is correct. It's supposed to be 1 die at
All right, Thralic,
regular comp.
Quit rolling like we were rolling on Saturday. No more of that shit.
What?
Hey, no,
I
it's
have-
good. It's good. We're getting all the bad luck out now.
That's not even bad luck. That's just the thing not working.
Yeah.
Also, if that's not right.
Yeah, like, not... What? Okay. Okay.
Weird.
Cool. Don't know why it's still rolling 2. Anyway, I'll let that comp stand.
Okay. So, do you guys want me to track momentum, or do you guys want to?
I can do it.
Yep. So, the complication is that you learned that although the FIS, the Free Information Sphere, otherwise known as the FIS, was documented, and there is quite a bit of research that was done by the 10th Expeditionary Fleet's Research and Development Auxiliary Fleet. They were more focused on technological ability and environmental and cultural mores, but they weren't really... They're not a diplomacy fleet. The most diplomatic person among them is the admiral of that fleet, and he's a science officer, and he's not a xenologist in any way. So the notes are a little... They're helpful, but they kind of get a... You kind of have to read between the lines a bit to get at what you're looking for. But you kind of do.
Okay.
Specific to say that the FIS is, much like the Federation, is made up of its sovereign parts. So it's the Upantari, the Inthari, and the Savixcast all are similar to each other, but very unique from each other. They're all egalitarian, they're all xenophilic, but then they all drift biologically, culturally, and technologically. So there is no real defined FIS-wide thing other than to know that they will give you a fair chance to speak. Even as an alien, they don't have any anti-alien legislation, and in fact, they have special protections to prevent such things. And then you see a variety of how much temperature they can endure and what their weather seasons are like, and why did they go into that detail? That wasn't what you were looking for. Why isn't that in the diplomacy file? Then you have to look at the chief engineer to find out what he thought, and then, he had this other opinion about their engines. It's a whole thing.
Wonderful.
What are Ryloff or Ven up to as Thralic desperately hacks through the mess that is the Auxiliary Fleet's diplomacy files?
Going through final crew checks, I think.
In what
Just
manner do you
making
mean?
just making sure that for these last 3 hours, or within these last 3 hours, that everything that we need to have squared away is squared away. Because I imagine there's going to be some interesting diplomatic stuff that happens on this ship. Maybe we have to give some people a tour. I don't know.
Give me Control Command, difficulty of 1, assisted by Communications Command.
Team Dynamics focus.
Yes.
I'll give you a threat.
Certainly.
And the ship. Captain,
I will grab that.
thank you.
One die, please.
We'll see. We'll see if it rolls right. Sure
Nope.
doesn't. Sure doesn't.
Look over. Yep, no, you have it highlighted correctly. I don't know what the heck's going on there.
Yeah.
That is a momentum gain, though.
Lovely.
Let's take a look at your ship, shall we? So, let's see. Oops, that doesn't help me at all. Where's my advisory? Ah. It seems that between yourself, between the Da Vinci A and the Halanak station crew that you have aboard, you should be able to handle most of the diplomatic-esque issues. You do have a decent enough staff to ensure that you may not be able to give tours to every single diplomat and ambassador who happens to have a question, or every single query that some random citizen might have for the Da Vinci A, but you'll be able to sort through it. And hopefully the station will kind of lighten the load to make it so it's manageable. But you definitely would want to focus on just the station, or like just the planet. You wouldn't want to be trying to entertain multiple things at the same time. You just don't have the capacity. You just don't have the personnel to handle that much of a load. Security-wise, similar idea. You can kind of manage most motion aboard the Da Vinci A. You are a crisis and emergency response vessel, so it's a lot of geared toward you guys leaving the ship in a hurry, not so much people getting on your ship in a hurry. But yeah, everyone seems to be ready to go and it's squared away. They've had some time to get there. It helps that, again, you didn't use your QSD to jump there right away. You kind of gave yourself a bit of time for everyone to kind of slowly get themselves situated. And, already in this 3-hour mark, there's already the people you're about to disembark are already getting ready to leave, like packing up their stuff, and they're not necessarily standing in the shuttle bay or lining up at the transporter pads or nothing, but they're ready in their rooms with their bags and stuff. Once you tell them they're good to leave.
Yeah. I'm sure there's like the one that was like, no, wake up, please.
Yeah. But it's 3 hours from now, yes, but there's going to be a line, so.
And I don't want to deal with you forgetting something, going back to find it, and not being able to find it. It happens.
Mm-hmm.
And Ensign Ven, what are you doing?
I mean, I've been given no further instructions, so I suppose I'm just doing sort of standard sensor monitoring.
Give me reason science difficulty of 2, assisted by sensor science. Would be 1, but you are scanning the infamous Shackleton, known for its variety of strange weather patterns.
What's the diff?
2.
Okay, I will spend a momentum for a 3rd die. Sensor operations as a focus.
Yep.
Gonna reroll 1.
Gain 3.
And I'm gonna give me a second. I'm gonna try and roll the Da Vinci.
Yeah.
die.
No. If anyone else wants to see if they can fix this,
I mean, I'll keep the 0. Just
Obviously.
Yeah.
First, but
like,
I just want to see if I can get it to do something different. No, me too.
yeah, I don't know.
We had this happen before, and we did fix it somehow, I think, on a sheet.
Yeah,
or did we
but I
just
don't
make an
remember.
entirely new sheet?
I hope we didn't just make an entirely new
What's
sheet.
the problem?
It won't roll any number of dice except for 2.
Like,
Oh.
even if you make it, like, what, 4?
I mean,
Yeah, if
you
you roll
could
4,
just
it just rolls.
duplicate the sheet and see if the
Yeah.
duplicate will do the same thing.
Here.
Could
Yeah.
maybe that's like a. If it works,
That's
there's
a
some
big-
black magic, but
Duplicate. Copy. I want to roll 5. Nope.
Nope.
I had an idea. It wasn't correct, but I had an idea.
Yeah.
Oh? Oh, no.
Oh!
No, that's just...
No, I was
okay.
just testing to see if it was
Sheet wide.
Yeah, no, like,
right.
yeah, no, if when I made my roll, I was able to roll 3 dice easy enough.
Yeah.
But we'll figure that out as we
3
go.
momentum.
Yep. So,
And you know what? For
What?
the lulls.
thank you for the
God
threat.
damn it, every time.
Love to see it.
Every single time I do that.
So good.
So,
Then there's 0 in effect.
displayed here
Bonus.
is the sector that is in. Actually, I'll even zoom further out.
Oh, whoa. Oh, there's a lot.
Boop. So if we zoom all the way out, you guys are all the way over here. Actually, focus pane.
Okay.
So you went from Narendra Station all the way out here to Halanak Station. The Halanak sector, if you will. And that's what this map is. It's the map of the sector. The notes that you see, this is where Halanak Station is, of course, in the Alpha subsector. It is a Class M3 6 star, a red dwarf star, very, very tiny, very, very dim. Surprising, it is of great confusion to the auxiliary fleet how there's an M-class planet that's as far away as Up 5 is, or the Upantari homeworld is. Just because there's not enough light to heat things. There's not enough light to actually illuminate the planet. But in this case, that seems to be not true. It's a perfectly good Class M. And the other systems of the Commissariat and the Interplanetary Cooperative over that way. And this is the extent of the FIS, the Free Information Sphere. And there's a few noted systems that are in the subsector further and further out that they wasn't within their remit to experiment with. Normally they'd be doing experiments out here to test out things, but given that there's the mission here, the FIS is in this sector, they thought it better to not get into their way or your way, so they moved on and noted some things. There may be more, but these are the noted ones.
What's the threat
Why
from midnight in the middle?
My everything just froze for like a minute, and I basically missed your entire explanation.
Well, you'll have to tell me where where you lost me.
You basically said it's divided like this, and then I said like, oh, so it's divided so that each square on the previous map is divided into 4 squares on this map. Okay.
Right. So this is the subsector. This is the sector map for the Halanak sector. These are the subsectors. This is where Halanak Station is, in the Upantari planet, which is near a red dwarf star. Up 5, as it were, is the 5th planet away from that star, and it's quite far away. Shouldn't be an M-class, but it is. This is where the Commissariat is, and this is where the Interplanetary Cooperative is. This is the reach of the FIS. These are the main worlds. There are other worlds in these regions. We're just not noting them on this map. The other ones, the other markers, note the stars of interest in each of those in those regions that the auxiliary fleet happened to see.
Okay, and where are we?
You should be you're approaching Halanak Station, so you're like.
Oh, okay. So we're in the we're in the Alpha sector.
The Alpha subsector, yeah.
The Alpha subsector. So we've been traveling through all these other subsectors up to this point. So are we crossing over from Epsilon to Alpha?
You would have been coming from this direction, more or less.
So yeah, from Epsilon to Alpha.
And then,
okay.
Yeah. As we zoom into the up system.
No, but seriously, what's the threat from Midnight in the center system?
Threat from Midnight. Oh,
big black gaseous looking
big
thing.
black patch.
For a momentum, I'll answer.
Free science officer question.
That's true. That would be a Class 1 ion storm.
Okay.
That spreads out for about a light year and a half around the commissariat homeworld.
Okay. And for my other question, because I have a bonus momentum that's floating around, is that a permanent stellar feature, or is that a passing stellar phenomenon?
It seems to be permanent. It's something that even the auxiliary fleet noted as well.
Okay. Good to know.
Can you
that's
Fetties just not have giant black ionized goo spheres in your planets? Is that weird for you guys, you weirdos?
So, and that's the cooperative's homeworld?
That's the commissariat.
Commissariat, okay.
And the commissariat are the in theory?
Yep.
Okay.
So as you can see, the Free Information Sphere claims a lot of territory in that. No, they control 3 subsectors of a sector. And even then, they only really live on those 3 star systems. There are like little research colonies elsewhere in each of their subsectors, but, nowhere near as populated as the early core Vulcan human efforts.
Jeez.
Yeah, but you guys didn't have a giant cool black ionized storm, so really, who's winning here?
True, we got attacked by the Zindi. And then the Romulan.
Zooming in further, this is the up system. This, of course, is Upantar. The star itself is Upantari. There's a pattern here. So, of course, Halanak Station's in orbit of the Upantari homeworld. There is even at long-range sensors, you can see the UPN ships, the Free Information Sphere Upantari vessels that are patrolling the system. And you can see that there is a research station, or there's smaller stations over the other planets. So Halanak Station's a big one that's as big. It'd be slightly smaller than, say, DS9 is. But it's a big energy signature. It's easy for you to see. This thing is not trying to hide its signature at all. And space stations really struggle to hide themselves without being in somewhere. Like being in a nebula or something like that, or hidden in a planet or whatever. This thing's proud and beaming its message out into the stars. But the other planets do have little space stations around them, like research stations and mining stations, and that also coordinate with the moons around each of their planets and so on.
Yeah, that's pretty standard.
Did not realize that Halanak was that close to Upantar.
We zoom all the way into the Upantar planet. And this is roughly where Halanak Station is, and there is the signature of Halanak Station, but there seems to be you shouldn't be seeing if it like scale 2, scale 1 stuff. You're too far away to really be able to see anything like that. You'd see like ships coming going, like freighters and stuff. So you wouldn't see like the constant traffic between the planet and the station. But you do see a buzz of activity around Halanak Station, like a ton of tiny motes of energy floating around it.
that ship activity, or is that some other kind of...
For momentum, I'll answer.
Sure.
Those signatures are, in fact, in theory. For the in theory are photonic or light-based species.
Right.
Wild.
So they're going for a bit of a spacewalk.
Relay that.
Fireflies. Got it.
Yeah. Man-sized fireflies.
Which makes them a pain in the ass to catch.
Yeah, I'm sure if they can just. No, I'm going outside, like now.
Yeah. I mean, presumably they can't walk through walls that are not.
They have to use an airlock like everybody else, or transport out there.
See ya. Peace.
Going through a wall, they can in theory go through a wall, but it's not a great idea because then they run into a bunch of other lights like wires, and then they get a really nasty shock. I mean, it might kill them, or it might just thoroughly irritate and annoy them. It's like, you know what? I'll just go through the door. It's like someone going, I could run through a wall. It's like, you can, but there's like wood and stuff in there. Why would you do that?
Yeah.
Use a door, you silly person.
They really, really want to get away from you. I guess they can.
Yeah, if an in theory is desperate, they could just blast through a wall. It's just they really have to hope nothing's in there that would hurt them. Like a plasma conduit would hurt it in theory pretty badly.
Gotcha.
Good to know. Not sure when it's going to come up, but good to know.
Never
well,
asked that.
oh no, I like tempting fate.
And I believe, as I recall, the new is the Hollow officer coming with the ship.
Yeah, because I'm taking a dual role as chief engineer of both.
Which form are you currently?
I was thinking.
I advise that.
I don't. It's bad for your health.
It's a dangerous pastime.
Yeah. If you do it as a job, it's
Winchester's
okay.
character thinks it's bad for all our healths.
Yeah. Yeah. Can confirm.
But Haifa, I believe it is.
Turned over a new photonic leaf.
Is it Lieutenant Commander Haifa,
Yeah.
or Haifa?
Haifa, yeah. I'm messaging you.
Well, too bad. I wasn't paying attention. Well, so you haven't sent it yet, so there.
See how things are.
There we go. Okay. Grab this. Just gonna need something to roll. Challenge dice with. Okay. So. And forming into being is Lieutenant Commander Haifa. What is the crew looking at?
Well, from the view of someone who can only see on the limited bands of the EM spectrum, you're seeing a Denobulan man of moderate height and build in a engineer's or a operations yellow uniform with 2.5 pips, who is gonna nod with deference to wait is that... how long have we been traveling with Rylov? Is it we've had enough time to get to know Rylov, right?
Oh yeah,
Okay, so I was just this isn't a surprise.
right.
And like the UFP like officially recognized the state.
Yeah, it recognizes the civil conflict within the Romulan Empire, and that is the very political answer to that question. Rylov is a sort of, in theory, a Tal Shiar faction and or Senate faction could both offer liaison officers, but mysteriously they've only taken one from the Senate side.
Yeah.
So for some reason,
Well, there's probably some Tal Shiar ones out of fairness, but like they're not on this ship.
I don't know if there are Telshar ones out of fairness, honestly.
Oh, they'd give them somewhere, some colony or something, just for diplomacy's sake. But probably not on the Achilles or the Da Vinci A or anything made within the last 10 years.
All
Or
30
anything
be on the
that's
safe
going
side.
anywhere that's remotely strategically important.
But Rylov is a storied officer, so you even by his high reputation, you would have been aware of who he was in Starfleet and his resignation.
Where? All right. Yeah. Then I will go sit. What are these back here for?
Auxiliary chairs or observation chairs.
Sounds like a place the chief engineer retreats to.
Like in theory, you could. This would be in the normal internal systems, but chief engineer go like, no, don't get every chair. I'll go back here.
Yeah, he has a job. He needs to be there. I just need to come make sure he's doing his job.
another place to retreat to is just
The break
Well,
room.
I mean, I don't need places to retreat to. I could just dematerialize and go live in the computer. But
yes, that is also true.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, are you?
This is the place that's like on the bridge to retreat to, though.
By
You're
the
on
way,
the bridge, but you're a little away.
I presumed. I actually presumed a little too much there for a second. Would you have faced straight into the bridge, or would you be walking around with your mobile?
no, I think walking around with the mobile because Haifa has been around longer than the EMH program. So early days would have learned that humans probably, or people in general, are kind of suspicious when you just start beaming into existence next to them. Right? So as a matter of like learned integration, probably walks around most places.
For those what?
Turbolift up like an organic.
No. I didn't take the turbo lift. I materialized into the turbo lift and then walked out of the turbo lift. So you didn't see me materialize, right?
Right. Yeah.
No, you're right. I would have had to walk the whole distance because the mobile emitter can't just appear
Yeah.
out of nowhere.
I like the idea that for you though, that turbo lifts are like what phone booths are for Superman. Not to make phone calls, but to change your form into your new appearance.
What does your mobile emitter look like, by the way?
Yeah. There's a white sleeve that goes from just below the shoulder to just above the elbow on Haifa's left arm. And has a few indicator lights and an access panel.
How does Haifa feel about the current affairs of holographic or synthetic life forms in the Federation? You're probably one of the I would note you're probably one of the few commissioned independent holograms that are serving at Starfleet. There's probably there's maybe like a handful of others elsewhere in the entirety of the fleet.
Yeah. I mean, Counselor Myth making good strides.
Yeah. Only been working on that for like 8 years, trying to avert some sort of disaster she foresees.
Other than that, the rank and file are pretty good, I think. Not enough to annoy Haifa, so I think he has a general, or they have a general positive outlook on holograms and synthetic life in Starfleet. In the Federation as a whole, is a mixed bag.
Yeah.
But
Some-
Starfleet will have to lead the way on that.
So what is Haifa up to when he gets up to the bridge and gets to the auxiliary consoles?
We're going into dry dock. Not dry dock, but we're going to tie umbilically to the station, which means I am preparing 10 different documents to bombard the first officer with to let me run high number diagnostics. Right. I want to do all my level 1s and stuff.
Well, you wouldn't be able to do a level 1 without pulling the ship to a stop.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. So
We're
like a
going
level
into
2.
a station, right? We're going to be at a station in a couple hours.
Oh, so you're
So
thinking
I'm
of doing
writing all the reports now. Taking some time to get all my justifications so that when they tell me no, I can argue passionately about how I need everything taken down now so I can fix it.
Control engineering difficulty 1, assisted by communications engineering.
What was the attribute for me?
Control.
Okay. Because the engine is operating at it's a millionth of a percent less than maximum power, so that calls for a
Oh,
failing.
good. Oh, that's not my problem.
I'm dead.
Either a focus in Starfleet Protocol or EPS, depending on whether I need.
Protocol I'd take here, yeah.
Okay.
There's a way to ask for things, and then there's a way to ask for things.
Pretty good stat. I can probably generate some momentum, so I'll spin 1 momentum. Oh. I can already foresee the Centurion's negative comment, so I'm going to spend 2 to quash.
Shit. Why are these not leaving?
Yeah,
Okay, there we go.
It's quite.
So you would have gained
1.
just 1, yeah, because of your spend. But yeah, no, you're able to assemble your reports and get them all sorted away. So that way, you have all your files ready to go on a pad, and you even have some of your staff able. You have the computer kind of double check your work to make sure you filled out that form correctly, and the sub form and the tertiary form in case the first 2 forms don't work.
And because I was writing about the condition of the ship, can I spend the one I got on obtain information to know how the ship is handled its brief time in the Shackleton so far?
Sure. I would say the state-of-the-art engine system, coupled with a healthy amount of engineering staff, has made for this ship a very smooth ride compared to a lot of other older ships that don't respond well to the Shackleton. The Da Vinci still has to adjust for the gravitational eddies and electromagnetic storms that happen every so often. But you, more often than not, that has been an issue on this journey. The big question mark is whether or not the quantum slipstream burst drive would work very well in it. It should, because the FIS have been using it for centuries. At least a century. And it works fine for them. So, but maybe the burst system may work differently. There's lots of theories as to exactly what will happen when you use it, but it's one of those we'll have to find out when we find out sort of things. But otherwise, just standard warp. Standard warp seems to be working pretty fine. largely just because you have basically cutting edge engine system and efficiency as any other than most ships in the entirety of the fleet. Short of having the experimental stuff that the auxiliary fleet's playing with, but that's a whole other,
Are we far enough away from Halanak that a burst from the quantum slipstream would be feasible?
You could. It would turn a 3 hour into a minute or a few seconds. Like, you'd get there almost instantaneously because because you can move 300 light years an hour. Like, you are incredibly fast.
Then Haifa will, after compiling these reports, walk up to the Centurion's chair and say, Centurion, if you thought it prudent, I'd like to stretch our legs. We haven't got a chance yet to really see what she can do. And this would be a great way to demonstrate not only our technical capabilities, but proof the ship's construction.
I can see the points you're making. I can also see a reason not to do it. Part of that being, we did just tell people they had 3 hours.
The needs of the service,
if we suddenly change that to a minute.
Yeah, the needs of the service. Sometimes they change. Besides, this will show crew readiness, right?
No.
I do not imagine civilian personnel will particularly view that in any positive light.
But
I'm also
won't
not
they
personally
be-
aware of what the people we are approaching would view of such a jump into their space, given they, so far as I'm aware, expect us to be arriving in a traditional manner.
For them, the traditional manner is quantum slipstream.
In a traditional manner to Starfleet.
But we also want to show technological prowess, right? That's one of our main selling points. Inspiring awe leads the way in Starfleet.
Shock and awe, that's Starfleet, all right.
Haifa, give me Insight Engineering or Insight Con, difficulty 1.
They do beat us in that regard of technology.
Oh, and I will say, I made a new ship sheet that's just not a clone of anything, just a brand new ship sheet. It still has the problem.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, let me test my other one quickly.
What was that roll again?
Insight Engineering, difficulty 1. I have an idea for you.
Oh yeah, no, the one I made also does that.
I mean, if this idea is to tell me that I can do it anyways and to take over the ship and rule the galaxy, I'm going to have to say no.
that is not the suggestion, no.
That's what you wish the suggestion was.
I wish it was.
I don't know what the suggestion is, so do you want to look at my focuses or you want me to throw a couple at you?
Throw a couple at me.
Starfleet Protocol? Quantum Slipstream Drive?
Quantum Slipstream Drive, yeah.
Okay.
Friggin' heck. Gain 3 momentum.
If you roll ones, everything works.
You could, in theory, I mean, if you go from there to here in a straight line at QSD, you can get there in 3 hours. Not 3 hours. You get there in a few seconds. Or you can kind of run laps for a bit and then head there. However, you could only get 30 minutes because it's a burst drive. The burst drive can only and it takes 12 hours to recharge, I believe. I just looked at it and then clicked away.
Yeah, so we would run it for its max length of 30 minutes, and we'd Yeah, we can't take the whole 3 hours. So I'll say, what if Centurion, I could split the difference with you and give you 30 minutes? That should give everyone time for you to update them and prepare.
Okay, very well, Lieutenant Commander. If the captain approves of it. It would be her prerogative to use that device.
All right, then I hit my comp badge and say Lieutenant Commander Haifa to Commander Thralic.
This is the captain. Go ahead.
After talking with Centurion Rylov, we both think it would be acceptable to test out the quantum slipstream drive, shortening our journey, but also demonstrating technical prowess and readiness.
Could you please come to my ready room to discuss this?
Yeah.
Just gonna like look up at the Lieutenant Commander as they walk up, like
Beep on the door.
Enter.
Well, hold on a second. Hold on. Before I beep on the door,
Mm-hmm.
you know what? I'm gonna roll a challenge dice.
Okay. Sheet
I'm gonna
3.
ignore that because that would be a terrible decision at the moment. And just
Aw.
go in.
Aw.
Yeah, because that would have led me entering the captain's room as not a person, which would not have been great at this moment. I avoid career suicide and say that would be a better result for a different time.
How is Thralik's ready room adorned? Or is it adorned, or is it very utilitarian?
I think it has not been adorned yet. I think there's literally like a shipping crate in the corner.
I mean, yeah, it was only like, what, within the last 90-some days you got command and then were shipped off to this assignment?
Yeah, like, there's a box in the corner, and, like, there's a couple, like, family holograms on the table, maybe. But it's very sparse right now.
As I'm walking in, I'll point out a crate and say, do you need me to send down a technician, Commander? Anything need to be installed?
No. But thank you. Now, you wanted to use the quantum slipstream burst drive, yes?
Yes, Commander.
My standing orders for the quantum slipstream burst drive are that we should use it in cases of emergency. I would like to test it. However, part of the reason that we are doing outreach to the FIS is to demonstrate that a quantum slipstream drive is not in itself necessary, and that there are advantages to warp travel.
I look forward to the day when Starfleet entrusts me with matters of diplomacy and ship management, but that is your area, Commander. So if you think it would undermine your mission, then I'll understand. I only suggest it because we don't know whether it will work in an emergency, because it's only been tested once during the ship's proving after shipyard. This crew hasn't attempted to use it yet, and while the shipyard crew could use it, it remains to be seen whether this crew can.
I agree, and testing of the drive is a high priority. However, I also want to offload the non-essential personnel of the Da Vinci onto Halanak station before we commence such an activity.
Oh, those claims of quantum radiation causing horrible effects, those were all just conspiracy theories.
I'm aware, but it is still a fairly new technology. And new technologies have a tendency to break in unexpected ways, shall we say. We don't know the ways they break yet.
But I have personal experience.
then that will be invaluable when we do make a test.
Oh no, I mean I have personal experience in new things breaking in unexpected ways.
I
I also have experience in quantum slipstream technology.
Aren't you a new thing that broke in an unexpected way? That's what I'm catching right now.
It's me. I'm
Yeah.
here since I broke in an unexpected way.
Yeah.
I think Frolic will just kind of quirk an antenna at that. Alright. I appreciate the enthusiasm, Commander. However, I believe that the test will be better suited for a later date. Soon, though.
Oh, very well. Since I'm here, I'll go ahead and lay these on your desk, and I guess I've been standing here holding like a bunch of pads. One document can go on. A bunch of documents can go on one pad. So
Oh yeah,
Oh,
I'll
yeah.
put the one pad down.
a resignation. No.
Yeah, you wouldn't listen to me, so I'm out. I'm gonna go sit on this ship that I can't control and is already going to the destination I was already going to.
Perfect. And what's on here?
Oh, all kinds of problems with the ship. We have engine deficiencies. We have turbolift shortages. We have maintenance issues on both main torpedo tubes. I want to tear some things down and put them back together to get us in working order. Of course,
these
once the
systems
ship is
are
in station.
Almost brand new, Commander.
Oh, but that doesn't stop them from degrading over time. The engines alone are already operating at less than 100% capacity.
Which they
Are
would
they
the minute you
within-
use them.
Are they within reasonable tolerances?
If
Fine.
by reasonable tolerances you mean what's acceptable to Starfleet operations, yes. If you mean what's acceptable to the ship's chief engineer, no.
Alright. Well, once we're docked at the station, you have full permission to conduct repairs that take no more than 1 day in length.
I could do them all. Actually, let me go ahead and remove these. I think morale might be. I could do all of these in 1 day, but it might incur morale problems. So we're going to do half of them.
Alright. If there's nothing pressing that comes up on our schedule after then, expect authorization for another day of repairs as well.
Oh well, I'll add them back on.
I just don't want key systems offline in the event that we need to move quickly. If you can arrange for that.
I can arrange for only the necessary downtime to take place.
Very good. If that's all.
Commander, and Haifa will leave.
The
Having
scene.
got exactly what he wanted.
Uh-huh.
The maintenance.
One unreasonable demand makes a more reasonable demand far easier to get through.
True.
New scene as we progress over to Halanak Station, as its denizens have their own things to worry about. Specifically, the headquarter of the law enforcement, the Free Information Sphere ratified law enforcement office for Halanak Station, but the person sitting in the harmonizer's chair, the head of the station police force, if you will, their civil police force and station security, is not, in fact, one of the Free Information Sphere species. It is instead an Ioshan. For those who don't know, a humanoid-appearing species that is rather enamored with Earth history. Once upon a time, the Chicago mob history, and then later on the the democratic and civil rights movements of the 50s through 80s. To the point that they have elections almost, every 2 years? And then sub-elections every year? It gets it's a little intense. But Kovac...
Probably changed since 2270, but yeah.
But Kovac is a FIS-ratified harmonizer. As part of the Halanak agreement. And actually, Kovac's assignment was kind of done a little ahead of time of the actual agreement signing itself. Because it's you as a private individual of the Federation getting the job. And they're like, well, if we're going to get you doing work on signing day, we're going to want to get Parliament voting on you ahead of time, and the vote actually went through pretty quickly. They seem to like the FIS seems to like Iosha quite a bit, and is rather impressed with how they're able to organize their elections so frequently. Because even the FIS doesn't do elections that frequently. But what does Kovac look like as he sits in his office?
Well, he's kind of average height for most humanoid species, around 6 feet tall, kind of habitually with slumped shoulders, but looking beyond the slump, the shoulders themselves are pretty powerful looking. Wearing a civilian suit on a hanging rack near the door is his suit coat and kind of anomalously a fedora-like hat. He's perpetually a little rumpled. I mean, presentable enough, but and he's sitting at his desk, going through station criminal activity reports, and on his desk is a easily recyclable cup of black coffee equivalent, and a small tray with a smoldering tube resting in it for the moment.
A smoldering tube?
Yeah, it's a dope stick. It is a inhalant that delivers a mild depressant. Kind of a nicotine analog, but in a high-tech society, something that doesn't come along with all the lung-rotting junk. Just, delivers the good stuff.
It's a high-quality vape.
Yeah, except it actually
You
does
just didn't want to say
burn. It actually does burn like a cigarette, but just
fancy.
call it a dope stick. So,
Well, as long as it's not a death stick.
right. So,
what does Kovac think of his new, being the first non-FIS species to be the Halanak harmonizer?
he hates the title. Makes him sound like a goddamn choir boy. But okay, whatever. He thinks the job will be interesting, despite the FIS's members' protestations of, post-scarcity society and egalitarianism, and particularly with Upentari, everybody kind of fitting in and harmonizing. That's just, in Kovac's worldview, that's just code for that's all fine and dandy for most people, but that means there's going to be assholes who don't want to fit in, and
Actually, it's along that same line why certain members of the Unthari actually argued rather vehemently for you to take the position rather than another FIS species, because you have a unique perspective on the variety of alien species that most Infospherians don't have. Like, there are Infospherian security officers and naval officers and scientists who are aware of Klingons, Romulans, and stuff because of the QSD, but Kovac's lived in that interstellar society and is more read on it. There is some pushback on you getting the post, but the Parliament as a whole saw that you were the better fit for the job than the other candidates.
Right. And
there was a Vulcan who almost got the job, but they thought, they frankly they didn't understand Vulcan culture very well. So, but they understood Ioshan culture way better. So,
so yeah, and with the increasing influx of Orions and Klingons, and now this big influx of the Federation and Starfleet, he's gearing up for a lot more of what he thinks of as kind of the usual criminal element. He's awaiting the Ferengi showing up for trade any given moment.
Oh, I'll actually correct you on that. The Ferengi, one particular Ferengi trading house already has a trading house here before the Federation even got settled in. Actually, somehow, according to reports, they got here before the auxiliary fleet got here. It's the Aurelius Trading House, as sponsored by Diamond Aurelius. Which was of surprise to Admiral Trailblazer, because he didn't recall his Klingon counterparts telling him that the Ferengi had found this place, and then he was responded with, well, they didn't. Aurelius did. And he doesn't have to share information for free, and various other invectives, which was of great irritation to the Trailblazer, but that's another problem. So there is at least one trading house already that's been here for a bit.
Yeah, so Kovic's been spending a lot of time keeping an eye on the activities of the Aurelius trading house, because Ferengi, and his naturally suspicious nature. But, overall, it's a job. Hopefully it'll be a fairly interesting job. He's kind of, in his own way, looking forward to the influx of the Feddies. Things should get pretty interesting on the station pretty quickly. He does lean a lot on his second-in-command, who's in the aquatic part of the station, who is a Savix cast, who has a much deeper understanding of FIS law and, of course, much better law enforcement experience in the water than Kovic has. But
and you very quickly learned that the Savix cast, although very peaceable, can get rather violent when defending those they perceive as in a precarious situation.
All to the good. Some people just look better with a black eye. Yeah. Otherwise, it's just a normal day in the harmonizer office.
What is he up to currently?
As I said, reviewing station criminal reports, reports of suspicious activity from the patrols, just general daily morning report.
Reason security, difficulty 1, assisted by the station's computer security.
Reason security? Observation as a focus? Or forensics and criminalistics?
Forensics and criminalistics.
Okay. Just makes it.
And the station?
Oh. What's the station assisting with one more time?
Computer security.
Security. Let's see. The station's rolling twice too.
Thankfully, only the first number we care about.
Yep.
So you actually gain 2 momentum off of that. At present, there's a lot of activity. The Inferi are they're known to buzz around the station quite a bit during big events. They out of politeness they try to stay in the station because they know it makes the other 2 species a little nervous when they're out there so much. They're okay, but those species aren't used to the vacuum of space not being instantly lethal.
Right.
But so they go, okay, we'll stop freaking people out. Let's just to be nice. But today it's a bunch of, in theory, have kind of come for the big Halanak signing day, and so there's a ton of people crowding around, and some of them are outside the station just to help with room, just to help with overcrowding. But it's being orderly. The Inthari are very individualistic. So there's no like central authority telling them where they should be going. They're just kind of deciding among themselves, or of their own accord. I'm gonna go here, or hey, could you do this for us? Like, oh sure, I can do that for you. They're very amenable. There are some on the station, but there's a lot that are outside. Also, cough. They're also doing it because hooray, we get to be outside and we're not upsetting anybody, or we are, but there's other things to be upset about. Of a special note, the Aurelius Trading House is selling all kinds of tchotchkes at people. Pamphlets, tourism, tat. And they seem to be doing well. No fraud has been reported, and yet. No, not yet. They would never commit fraud. Of a special security note, there are representatives of certain Orion families, Orion clans, that have been associated with the Orion Syndicate. However, under FIS law, they have yet to be considered a hostile or criminal element. So they haven't broken FIS laws. So they're welcome under the protections of egalitarian travel. For aliens and non-aliens, they are allowed to come to stations so long as they cause no trouble within FIS space. But that these guys are syndicate. Like it's sort of an open secret even back in the Federation who these people are.
Okay. Take a threat for well-informed. Ask a couple of deeper questions.
Ooh, that's a good talent. I like that talent.
Yep.
Yeah.
Particularly with the syndicates on board, is there any of my contacts gotten word to me about any organized crime being shaped on the station? Any kind of people trying to turn just normal criminal activity such as it is into something much more organized and troublesome?
Not really, no. Beyond nothing grassroots or native born, as it were.
Right.
A lot of the Federation, a lot of people who are coming or have been here before, because Aurelius is he wants to make money. So the Trade House Aurelius has actually been very careful not to get involved in criminality. That's not where he makes his money. He makes money just doing good old fashioned trade. And he's connected with the friggin' House Sugita, so he isn't hurting for legitimate ways to make money. So anyone who gets in the way of that irritates him. So, and among the FAS, the criminality doesn't manifest that way. It's usually personal vendettas or differences of opinion that get heated, but nothing if anything, the FAS have no real experience with organized crime. Whether that'll be introduced by new visitors remains to be seen.
Give it a minute. So, speaking of such personal vendettas, and knowing that not everyone in the FIS is super thrilled with this deal with Starfleet, up to and including the leader. Is there any indication of threats against either the Starfleet officers or presiding speaker Virus? Or Varus, I'm not sure.
Varus.
Sorry, I went Latin with it.
Those who know him really well will call him Vay, which is his, when he was a much smaller slime, long time ago. People still call him that. Especially people who personally were there on Parliament, they may know him and call him that. But it's a polite thing to call him Varus. But as for, to answer that question, no threats have manifest yet. Starfleet has sent along a bulletin that relations with the Tripolity have normalized to some degree due to certain treaty negotiations occurring. So a lot of the smuggling that used to happen like the Tripoli, it did engage in it because they were a criminal rogue organization as far as the Alpha Quadrant powers are concerned. They have gotten a lot less. They don't need to smuggle as much anymore. So really, the only big faction right now is Queen Benezia, I think it is. Queen, quote unquote, a self-styled pirate Orion Queen who has been in the Federation's side for over 8 years. She's still causing problems, but her fleet. She's always been tapped before she can amass a big armada. She's always been tapped down by somebody, usually the Gungnir, but sometimes other elements.
130-year-old admiral.
Yes. So right now, there's no threats that have manifested as far as you or your rumors have concern. There's one rumor that the Tal Shiar they don't want to kill him, but they do want to somehow influence him. The problem is that they wouldn't want to kill him. They'd want to mind control him or something, or get some sort of blackmail on him. So that's the biggest threat currently. And the Orion Syndicate, Whisper, might kind of sort of... They don't want to kill him, but again, they will want to... There's no sense dealing with Starfleet. That's just a pain in the neck, unless you threaten their family or something. But maybe we can get one over on this backward alien from the Styx, is their mentality. But...
Yeah, that tracks.
Yeah. All right. Kovic will be sure to be present at both the arrival of the Starfleet ship and its deboarding, as well as at the signing ceremony. And I'm going to, at this point, I'm sure, triple check the security arrangements for all of that to make sure that I've covered all the bases as much as possible.
As you're doing that... Oops, you're a little too big. Lieutenant Captain of the Stars, Higaneth Sarana. Do I still have you? Uh-oh.
Oh no, he's gone.
Oh.
They are currently having a heart attack in their quarters. Do
Whatever
they even
we
have
do without a
hearts? I
sign.
don't know what this species has. Heart analog. Is analog the right word for that?
Think so? There might not even be a heart analog. Dear Upantari.
Oh, crap. Did you guys... I'm sorry, I just kind of zoned out for a second. I'm still here. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I wasn't used to being called by the new name, and I just kind of zoned out. I'm a little tired. What's up?
So,
She's like, that's not me, it's fine.
No, I promise I was listening.
don't worry, I zone out when Kovic talks a lot too.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
So,
Hey, at least it wasn't a dig at me this time.
I mean, I can make it a dig about you. Give me a reason.
Easy.
But you are, as we understand it, a Upantari. This protozoic, sentient protozoa that's basically, shall we say, human-sized or man-sized. Although, as for your concern, Upantari-sized. Because you guys, your species has been quantum slipstream capable for over 100 years, and has been educating your neighbors in that interim, and built Halanak Station. And you are a member of the I forgot the Navy. Well, you are a member of the UPN.
Is it called the Steel Fleet?
The Steel Fleet.
Steel something. Yeah.
The Steel Fleet's the UPN fleet. Is the Upantari segment of the larger Navy. But yeah, and as I recall, you are the executive. Well, you're currently the acting station commander until the new station commander, Captain Pend of Starfleet, comes. What can you tell us about how Sayrana appears?
Yeah, so Sayrana is like, she's a little bit over 6 feet tall and is a trilateral, meaning instead of having one point of symmetry, it's like a triangle of symmetry. Um, Protozoic creature that's, I think I said, about 6 feet tall.
Yep.
I would say mostly like a yellowish skin tone, but with like little specks of like I read that they have like bioluminescence sometimes. So I'm picturing like little specks of like bioluminescent like pinks in there. And yeah, I don't know if they wear uniforms or what the uniform would look like, but
They would adorn their outer skin in items to highlight what their part in the Solidarity or the FAS is.
yes. But yes, I have been running myself ragged, making sure all of the preparations and pomp are in place for the ceremony, that it goes perfectly, and that Starfleet is, very impressed and happy with the station as we hand it over to them.
Let's address that. That's some work you would have done before you went because I'm having you visit Kovac for a reason, but we'll handle that role, your idea first. Let's go with Control Command, difficulty 1, assisted by ships. Communications Command.
Okay.
Station, sorry, I should say.
Focus in Upentari etiquette. I know all the right procedures and protocols to make this go off without a hitch.
Certainly, and Upentari etiquette also is fairly xenophilic, so you're used to dealing with aliens.
Control Command. All right, we've got plenty of momentum, so I'll spend 3.
Good thing you did.
Ooh, an egalitarian xenophile race.
No, down, Stellaris, down.
Otherwise known as lunch meat. I will spend 2 to quash.
Yeah, most of them anyway.
Never.
The ones that aren't, you got to watch out for.
And the station?
Station, communications, command. I don't know why it rolled 2 dice, but
Been doing it all night.
The first one is a comp, sadly.
It is
spent
actually a
another
20,
2
yeah.
to-
Yeah, it
No,
was
you know what?
actually
You
a
know what?
comp.
You know what? I take it back.
Spice of life.
Yeah, spice of life. I'm going to leave both comps on the table. I think this is going great. I think this is going off without a hitch, but I have done something tremendously wrong.
Oh, what's like the completely insulting thing that's going to be set up?
Oh, I know exactly what's going to happen.
I'm so excited.
Oh, I know exactly what's going to happen. Oh, no.
And GM, on a more personal note,
Mhm.
the Upentari are all about gift giving and like like that sort of thing. So I would like to pull up what records I could to acquire gifts for both Captain Thralic and Captain Pend that would be like suitable for people of their stature and their background in the Federation.
Oh, certainly. You found out a perfect pick for them.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Some Orion tradesman told me about this thing called caviar from Earth. It smells gross, but apparently those Federationers are all over it. Okay, I'm nervous. I've been not yelling, but I've been directing people and, hating up the banners. No, that's too high. No, that's too low. That's the wrong shade of purple. Oh, I don't think the Starfleet's going to like that. No, I don't know if the Starfleet's going to like that either. Why don't we just go back to the original? That sort of thing for, weeks now. And
Yeah.
now that today is D-Day, it's Operation Day. I have something to go talk with the station security man about. I don't know if I've seen him. I don't know if I've talked to him seriously in quite a while now.
You guys have had about the last 90 some days since the announcement that the Halanak agreement was going to be signed. So whether you've crossed each other's paths since then, I leave that to the two of you, really.
I'm sure we have planning the security for the events and all that stuff. We would have had to liaise.
Yeah, and like I imagine, like I ordered you to put like in the holding cells there are like little streamers and like a poster on the wall that's got like the Federation and the FIS logos for all the prisoners to look at. They're gonna like wheel out like a TV into the holding cell so they can watch the proceedings. But yes.
Yeah, and Kovic just nodded and smiled and didn't do that.
There's like a cake.
Right.
Hey.
Okay.
But yeah, the reason to meet with Kovic is that you were told that the Da Vinci A's should be two things. One, unfortunately, your replacement, your new commanding officer, such as the Federation likes to call it, more the role of station responsibility and so on. But yeah, aliens, they like their ranks and hierarchies. He's not going to be here for a while yet, but the Da Vinci is going to be coming inside of 3 hours. So you will need to touch base with Kovac to get those final pieces set up.
Okay, so do Upentari have legs, or do they just kind of like sludge along the ground?
They kind of sludge around the ground, but if they're like going to run into something that's kind of icky or pointy or something, or they just don't want to touch it, they can extend pseudopods that kind of lift themselves and then climb over it. But generally, they just slide across the ground because they can feel the ground better that way.
Yeah, I am sliding across the ground. I assume you have to go. It's very annoying when I try to grab the token. Whole map moves. I assume I have to like go in this way. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. You move my token. I don't know what's wrong with my mouse, but I cannot move the token in the map. Or moving the token moves the map around the token for me.
I think Roll20 may be doing weird things tonight.
Yeah. I'm assuming nothing's happening with the flute.
The flute?
Flute?
It's the flute? The fluting moondom?
No, I'm sorry. The station isn't big enough to get some floats. I heard about this thing, the Thanksgiving parade. I wanted to recreate it, but we couldn't get the rights to Charlie Brown.
It's owned by a Ferengi for some reason.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
We'll welcome the Lieutenant Captain of the Stars into the office and stand up and gesture to a chair or, wherever she wants to sit. Or, wait, do the Upentari, I can't remember from the briefing file, do they identify by gender or is it they, them? Okay.
She is what I would use.
Okay.
And they are, asexual, but the way language intersects with gender amongst solid forms, it's a whole thing.
Yeah, the Upentari learned that they're... Yeah, because the Upentari learned that other species have a gender system. Like, oh, well, some identify masculine, some femme, some are like, I'm Upentari. It depends who you're talking to.
My pronouns are Oop and Antari.
Can I get you anything, Captain?
What's your title again? It's not Commissar.
Harmonizer.
Kovic. Just call me Kovic.
Commissar's better though.
Hey, that's for the commissariat. That's different.
Yes. Mr. Kovic, I have just been informed of unfortunate news. Despite all of our efforts for a perfect ceremony, and make no mistake, had nothing else was going to go awry, the ceremony would be perfect. However, one half of the 2 Starfleet vessels arriving with us has been delayed. We will have to make do with merely the crew of the Da Vinci, who are arriving in approximately 3 standard hours.
Kovic nods and smiles pleasantly and takes a drag from his dope stick. Well, considering that's the majority of Federation personnel, both civilian and Starfleet, that'll be taking up residence and duties on the station, it's not too bad. And in the Shackleton, these things happen. The Feddies don't have the experience that the FIS does of navigating the various anomalies and weather in the Shackleton, so some delays happen. Shouldn't be too bad.
It's okay. I understand this is not the end of the world. I just want to impress upon them that we are of equal status, that we are impressive in our own rights and not merely one more planet to integrate into their expanding union.
Oh, believe me, with your quantum slipstream technology and quantum entangled communicators, he kind of motions towards his. You'll come off impressive no matter what you do. I think your biggest bumping heads may be that the Solidarity and FIS are pretty interventionist in nature, and the Federation is not has pretty strict laws against such things. But that's at far higher levels than I hope to operate at.
Right. Maybe I was worried about nothing. I came to check. Are there any security alerts or protocols I should be made aware of as they arrive?
No alerts. I was just going over one more time the final arrangements. You're welcome to look over them with me and see if you think any I've missed anything or any changes should be made. So yeah, Kovic will go ahead and review his deployment of forces, as it were.
You would know that Serata has not particularly shown any aptitude or skill in security or law matters beforehand.
Is that an alert going off?
Yes. You notice that on Kovic's desk, a part of the desk slides away and a little light pops up, and it flickers back and forth, blue, yellow, blue, yellow, blue, yellow, which the two of you recognize as an FAS signal of a navigational hazard is in sensor range. So it's warning everyone on the station that the station is now at the equivalent would be a yellow alert.
Would you like to use my comms, Captain? This is more your area of security than mine.
Yes, thank you very much. Now I'll, goose slide over, move the chair, and bring up station ops. Have we given a name to the bridge equivalent?
Station operations, yeah. So you call up to station ops, or are you just looking up what the alert's about on the computer?
Yeah, I would like to confirm with a person on station ops. I don't trust the computer.
Station ops, Lieutenant Commander, Lieutenant Captain.
Hi. Yes. I heard the alert, and I wanted to confirm that everything's okay.
Long-range sensors detect some sort of incoming anomaly heading toward Upantar. We're trying to figure out exactly what it is. But scientists have calculated that it's on an impact course with the planet. So we're trying to figure out... we were about to reach out to your quantum communicator to see what you wanted us to do.
Let me transmit the files to my current computer. Let me analyze them and see what the appropriate course is.
Very well.
I don't want to delay the ceremony, but I also don't want to endanger anyone.
Also, just as a friendly glow of the sky, as it were, the presiding speaker would like this problem to be solved, is impressing upon us that the Parliament wants this solved as quickly and as quietly as possible, but I told them that we would do what we can.
Yeah, sure, because we can control the weather, Kovic mutters.
The Anthari light on the other side glows a faint purplish green as a... sorry. I'm just...
Yeah, Sirana, like, blinks an eye stalk and says, yes, of course, we will do exactly as the Parliament requests. And she will close the tab and begin researching about the anomaly.
Reason plus science. Difficulty of 5, assisted by the sensors, plus science of the station.
Kovic will assist if he can.
You totally can, yep. As you're kind of peeking over Seirana's
His reason science is
shoulder's not the right word.
right.
Yeah, we're gonna have to use a lot of approximate terminology because these words don't exist in the English language.
Yeah.
I have a focus in research. If I'm specifically trying to learn more about this anomaly and compare it with other anomalies and so on, would that work?
It would, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, computer, I just whacked you.
Actually, how would you like to threat?
I always like threat. Don't threaten me with a good time.
I do have well-informed, but I don't think that'll come in handy. I was going to give it to you, but take that back because we're already doing the research task. It doesn't super matter.
Yeah. Plus, well-informed is something that would have happened before these events because it's a top-of-scene thing.
Yep. Okay. Reason science. Yeah, none of those are going to come into play. Okay. So we have 6 momentum, so 5 momentum. There we go. Finally. A decent
Nicely
roll.
done.
Holy heck. 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 on 5. So 2 so far, plus station.
Yeah.
Station. Yep.
Briss, I see a surprising amount of red for.
Uh-huh. No matter what
It
the
doesn't
roll
even need
is.
to be a complication. It just needs to be the station rolling because apparently it likes being red.
It's a very lucky
So,
color,
no
red.
success, but
I'll say that's a 15. Is the first one is a 15, and the
Yeah.
second one is a 16. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
they're not comps.
I don't know what's happening with every ship token.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
Weird.
roll 20 is melting.
Mm-hmm.
Because we had this.
But let's pull up the system. The anomaly is actually 2 things because you would know. You already know that the Da Vinci's on its way, so you know they're whoops, way too big, smaller.
Gigantic ship.
Smaller. You should fit within the hex because you're only scale 5. A little bigger. 'Cause you are scale 5. There you go. So Da Vinci's over that way, and the anomaly is that way. Current distance 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 range bands away. That is close, medium, long, extreme, extreme 1, extreme 2, extreme 3. So it's at extreme +3 from Upantar, but the Upantari have had to deal with interstellar issues before, so seeing something that far away is not that isn't trying to hide itself is not beyond the means of the station. But that's its current location. At present, you are basically at a ticking clock. I will actually go so far as to say that we are in combat timing, in so much that at the end of each round, the anomaly will approach, as it is approaching the planet at an incredible speed. It does appear to be initial scans, preliminary scans at that range seem to indicate it is a comet of some kind, especially large, and seems to be giving off some sort of strange energy signature, indicating that either some sort of material in it is energetic, or that there's some sort of device or devices inside it that are radiating energy of some kind. Not quite a starship. Starship energy signatures are known to Upantari and to the FAS as a whole. It's not quite that, but it's... You're looking at a skill 3.5 or so impact, which would be pretty bad wherever it hit. I mean, the good thing is Upantar is not densely populated. The Solidarity only the chunk of the Solidarity, the Great Slime, if you will, is largely at the starport cities.
Great slime.
There are like little slimes that kind of go out into the wilderness to learn about themselves and the planet and stuff. But if it doesn't look like it's going to hit the Star City, but it will hit part of the planet, and it could potentially, anyone who's out there could literally just like start running now, and they might get out of the blast area. But it's like it will cause an ecological disaster for that region.
Is the station in any danger?
No, it doesn't look like it's the impact that seems to be heading for the planet, given its current course. Actually, I'll draw that course just so you can see it a little better. Whoop, whoop.
Question number 1. You said strange energy readings. Can you be any more specific than that? Like, strange how?
I certainly can, for a moment.
Of course.
That's exactly what I was looking up, so I can get you the proper answer to that. What book do I need to look in to look that up? Because I had it in mind and I lost it.
With the answer in it.
Strange can mean like of scientific note, or it can cause the extinction of everyone who lives on the planet with its after effects, and those are very different. Strange.
All I'm thinking is strange energies from lower decks.
Oh, when he mentioned like strange comet, my mind went to the asteroid that people live in where the world is hollow and I've touched the sky.
Sounds cool.
Yeah, wrong book. It's this book, isn't it? Yep.
Ooh. Also thinking of the meteorite from Ghost Trick that gives you ghost powers if you die next to it.
Just checking through my stuff to give you an accurate answer. Oh, pardon me, sorry. I'll throw them in the chat because I imagine you're going to share that fairly quickly. That. And that. as well as that would be in this book, not that book. Well, I'll show what you have so far, just so you can get reading already. There's one other thing, but I have to look up what it is before I say it, because I don't want to mislead you. And so you're detecting significant amounts of iridium, tellurium, 247th element, as well as Omicron radiation. Which, it helps if I give you the rest of it.
Yeah, it does.
That's all in the Halanak Station Discord.
Oh. Okay. So reading over this, I can deduce that this is a quite valuable asteroid, that the collection of this would be of great industrial use for the FIS.
I mean, yeah, if you could collect it, that'd be great, because there's a lot of rare minerals that just it would be difficult to get elsewhere. There are ways to get it in the other star systems, but this is kind of a treasure trove.
Yeah, this is like if a Spanish galleon filled with gold was like we saw it.
Yeah, go to the Bermuda Triangle, you'll find one.
Yeah. What scale did you say it was?
A 3.5. So between a 3 and a 4.
I am a bit concerned about the Omicron radiation, though.
I don't know if you should be concerned, Harmonizer. We have, this is not last century. We have many means of treating such radiation.
No, I mean, that could indicate a traditional warp drive of some kind, rather than meaning that this could be a piloted device or perhaps some sort of missile. And not to put too fine a point on it, but the Steel Fleet's quantum slipstream drives, while incredibly efficient and fast, don't really let you operate at warp speeds terribly well.
I guess I didn't even. She like stops and like some of the bioluminescence loses its luster, and as she goes from this could be of think about how cool and important I'll be if I can bring this home for my people.
Very Opentari response.
Yeah, she looks downcast and says, "Could it be like a ghillie suit? Someone disguising their starship as a meteorite to get close without alarming our sensors?"
Noticing the color shift, Covet kind of, sorry, but it is kind of my job. I don't know, Lieutenant Captain, I'd suggest if you've got a Steel Fleet ship in range to intercept, they might have them take a look, or you could always ask the Da Vinci for help. They're definitely warp capable and slipstream capable. So and I can tell you for a fact that when it comes to using science to solve problems, there's nobody in the galaxy as good at it as the Federation. Although sometimes their solutions are a bit
Outside the box.
Well put.
Yes, I
Wait, there's a box?
I am not in favor of the idea of owing favors to our guests so quickly, but I don't see another option.
Well, I
and
mean, they're not our guests. They're going to be running the station, and the station security is going to be there. Well, I mean, protecting the FIS is kind of going to be their reason for being here. So, trust
yes,
me, they don't
Sorry.
operate on the whole, we helped you, so now you owe us thing. At least most of them don't. They're annoyingly socialistic and giving and kind and all this other stuff. And he stabs out his dope stick and lights another one up.
So I've heard. If you don't mind, I will I will send a communique out to Captain Thralic.
Minor action, you can hail the Da Vinci.
I am going to hail the Da Vinci, saying, this is the first officer and security officer, and security head. You can notice the translation software stumbles for a moment before it translates to, highest ranking law enforcement officer aboard the vessel, aboard the station. Excuse me. We are requesting to speak with the captain of your vessel.
I'm assuming I'm still on the bridge at this point.
Yep. So you see a Romulan in naval uniform.
This is
Ooh, that's
Centurion
interesting.
Rylov of the USS Da Vinci, presently first officer. I can put you through to Commander Thralic or Captain Thralic in just a few moments.
Well, I did wish to meet you in person, Frolic. However, I did.
Oh, for goodness sake!
I get confused.
We've got a
for
bit of an
Andorian
emergency,
too many
Centurion. We've got a bit of an emergency, Centurion. There's an anomaly heading for Upintar pretty rapidly. We are hoping for your assistance.
How rapidly are we talking here?
What was the figures, GM?
All combat rounds, so minutes.
Yeah, you're looking at minutes away.
We're measuring in We are measuring in minutes, not hours.
Mizits. We're measuring in mizits because we're alien.
As he's saying understood, he's like tapping at the arm console to just, frolic to the bridge. He's not saying it out loud because he's in a call, but he's definitely sending a thing to her console, or her, what she got in front of her, like a screen?
A console, yeah.
Yeah. With a little urgent marker next to it, just, If Thralic is indeed around, actually.
Yep. Like 20 seconds after you send that, Thralic is on the bridge.
He'll stand, let her sit, and just be like, minutes until something is approaching Upintari. Would you like me to make the chief engineer aware that we should be prepping for a jump like they wanted to try?
Ivia might be still in the back over there.
Yeah, he's standing there with a smart look like, I knew it.
No shit.
I was right.
Right. Smug holograms.
Smug holograms. But just a very quick, as few words as needed to pass on what he knows, which isn't much, but,
And
Tickets
Kovic
to
will,
yellow alert. Sensors give me location on that object, trajectory, and speed.
Yes. Is it commander or is she full captain now?
She holds the vessel, so she's called captain.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
she has the position of captain, the rank of commander.
Yes, captain.
I love
Kovic will kind of
location.
nudge the lieutenant captain and go, "You should send him our data."
Yes, I was getting to that. She like telepathically communicates along the lines of, I normally I handle these situations better because they're under etiquette scenarios, not urgent ones. But yes, she will say, here's our analysis of the mineral content of the meteorite. It is strange that it managed to avoid our extreme range sensors like that, but it has incredibly valuable materials inside. I would greatly appreciate an ability to collect it if we could, but if destruction is necessary, of course, I understand.
Very well. Lieutenant Commander, can you get us there now?
Where's our drive capable of getting us there now? 'Cause it might be a contest.
Aye, Commander. I get to it.
So, can Upentari communicate telepathically with other species?
They can, but it feels weird. It's natural's error to the Upentara, but they can't touch other aliens and do it. But it comes off kind of... The best description people have said, it feels sticky. It's a weird way to...
So, yeah. So, Kovic will kind of wince after that communication and just kind of shake his head.
There's actually you feel a couple of like ambient emotions that Seirana was already kind of concentrating. That wasn't the immediate situation, but some other thing that she was thinking about.
The strange smell of that caviar sitting in the in the cargo bay.
Just while Haifa is making sure things are set for that jump, Ralph's just making a quick little to the crew of prepare for a quantum slipstream jump.
Yeah. You know, that's actually probably a blue alert.
Yep.
Now that I think about it. Yeah.
You know, like they see the alert, but it's like, no, let's make a little quick pass out of why.
So
prepare for yellow alert on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Haifa, you are jumping the Da Vinci.
Yep.
It will take...
Or they're at least helping jump.
2, 3.
Well, yeah, I'm not piloting the course.
It will use up... It will use up 5 power.
Right?
How much power does this ship have normally overall?
17.
Oh
Actually-
no, not 5.
Oh, I'm sorry. I correct myself. It only costs you 3 because you're quantum slipstreaming. Because all the sensors of the sensors of Halanak Station are surprised to see the Da Vinci start to probabilistically change its place in the galaxy, and there's a huge, very inefficient surge of energy coming from their quantum drive. Da Vinci kind of shakes in space for a second, and then gone. It just vanishes, and then reappears where it needs to be.
Like a minute later.
Yeah.
We know though that they have this technology, right?
Yep.
Did we give this technology to them?
Oh no, they seem they have they seem to have independently discovered this technology. Although their technology, as you quickly learn, as your sensors quickly learn, you notice that their QSD burns out almost immediately. It's like, oh, they can only do like a quick little jump like that. They can't sustain that speed.
Excuse you, we can sustain the speed for 30 minutes. We only get like 30 seconds.
That's true. Like you can tell it's being worn and stuff. You can see it kind of as it pops into existence. It lurches for a half second, like it wasn't expecting to come out when it did.
Oh yeah,
Yellow alert.
It's very
Con match course and speed with the anomaly.
Oh, but first, Haifa gets a test because there's a complication that may make this problem even worse.
Hifus. Haifa.
Yeah, sorry, I called them Hyphus, and now it's Haifa, right?
Yeah, it's Haifa.
Oh, I thought
I
you
was
called
zoomed
them
out enough.
Hyphus.
No, I was zoomed out enough that the A at the end looked like an S.
That's why it cracked me up because Hyphus.
Oh, sorry, did that sound like I said, yeah, no, we're just gonna call you You're a disease now.
Control engineering,
Oh,
Mary.
screen.
difficulty 3, assisted by engines engineering. As the minute you jump out, you notice the QSD probability drive, it does wind down, so you do pop out, but you notice that someone in engineering screwed up, and it's starting to spin up again. So you're about to do another QSD jump. An uncontrolled jump to somewhere within, you're not sure where yet, but if it turns on, you're going to just keep going.
Which would be really bad because we need to recharge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, this seems thematic enough. I'm gonna spend determination on always doing firsts, as this is the Da Vinci's first in situation jump. Right, this is the first live test, not something that was done in the Starbase.
Yeah. And in the Shackleton, of all the places in the galaxy to do this in.
Don't worry, we will judge you if you fuck up.
Uh-huh.
Sort of like how a toddler, when they bang their knee real hard against something when they're running, you know.
Yeah.
Does the...
Yeah, I mean, you're the toddlers in our relationship.
Yes, that's why you're asking us for help.
Yeah. Well, you know, in the same way you ask, like, a toddler to help, you know.
We generate 2 off that?
Generate 2 off them. Oh, yes. Well, what?
Because the...
Oh, because of the
Determination
determination
spent,
spent. Yeah.
Yeah.
Brain, don't mind me. Yes, you are able to avert your junior officer's screw up, and you're able to spin down the QSD before you probabilistically rip the drive 300 light years that way. Because don't worry, the drive would go without you, which, you know, that'll be comforting.
Right.
Who's next?
I gave orders for 2 things, so I can direct if we're in combat timing.
Yep.
So I have Con matching us the course and speed of the object, and sensors getting the information on it. Don't know if Con is a roll.
Con would be a roll if you want to basically be following it if it leaves your zone. Because it will, unless something's done to it, it will continue its trajectory.
Yeah, no, I want to stick on it, mirror its path, basically.
Okay,
So
what
we know
support?
it's safe to tractor beam or whatever.
Exactly.
What supporting character are you directing to keep the
I
pace?
think I will do the emergency navigation hologram, since we don't really have a pilot that we brought.
Yes, we
Right?
do. Silent.
Oh, we do.
Erase
Silent.
it.
She's a small craft pilot, but she can...
She is, yeah. Thanks. Should we activate Silac here?
Sure.
Should we change her trait to former hoplite?
I believe the other Pend and myself have kept our hoplite traits. It's
It
still
represents
have training.
it represents the training. You basically have hazard team training.
Gotcha.
Honestly, the ENH has a focus, and I'm not sure if Silac does.
That's fine. That's fine.
No one wants to trust the flesh and bloods. This is how the holograms replace us.
You know, she probably said something exactly like that.
Actually, she might. If someone wants to play Silac,
Oh well.
she has precision targeting, which I think might be applicable, actually.
Yeah, you know what? I'll do it. What's the roll?
Control con difficulty. We'll say 2. Assisted by engines plus con. As you begin matching course and speed.
Precision targeting?
As a focus?
Yeah.
Walk me through that.
Well, okay. I have to lock onto a target precisely and, keep track and work in lockstep with it.
I'll take that, sure.
Essentially, I imagine, the target lock is on it as if it were an enemy craft, and we're just maneuvering in as if we were going in for an attack, which we definitely are not, Okay.
Also, I'm not sure why her sheet says Control Con. It should be Cautious Con as a talent, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, that's what happens when you write talents at 12 p.m. in the night.
Fair.
All right, yeah, the only person in the world to have Cautious Con. 1 momentum, 2 threat.
2 threat eye. Bloody hell.
Dang. All right, here's my direct. If it rolls, I don't know why it hasn't. I'm gonna hit that again.
You haven't eaten your Wheaties today. Nope.
Okay. I will re-roll that with my special ability. God damn it.
Nice.
And here's the Da Vinci's assist.
Take the first 2. You're looking at 6 gains so far.
Yep. Use 2 of that to quash my comp.
So you still have 1 float.
Game. Yeah. We have 1 float.
Anything you wish to do with that float before Steelix, as she is able to get into a, so you kind of do, it's almost like you're doing constant flybys, constantly buzzing the thing, but never actually committing to the attack, to an attack run.
Yeah, can I spend that I've identified the ideal angle of attack, and if we do have to open fire to destroy this, we have an advantage on it?
For 2 momentum, yeah, you'll have a, it'll be easier to hit this thing, because you're already you'll be lined up almost all the time.
Security perfectly. It's I was going to make a basketball reference, but I don't know the name of basketball moves, so never mind. It's like when the guy is jumping to dunk, and then you throw the ball to him as he does that. I've set
alley-oop
up to hit.
There
you go.
Look, there are no rules that say a sentient ball of slime can't play basketball.
I would just call that a yeet, but
I would just call that a yeet. I don't think that's in the NBA book of terms. I'm fairly certain.
So,
not yet, anyway.
Can the slime commit traveling if it doesn't have legs?
Yeah.
Oh,
GM,
God. Yeah.
I'm then going to spend 1 momentum because I have Tactical Voice to Swift Task. To
Okay.
direct again.
Okay.
Because I have Tactical Voice.
Right. You're going to direct Ven?
Yeah, I'm going to direct Ven. I want to know everything about that object, Ensign. Tell me what it ate for breakfast.
Yes, Captain.
Ham and
We
eggs.
need a different planet.
souls.
Reason science, difficulty of 5. Part of the difficulty is that you're kind of doing this in at the exact same time Celix banking the ship like crazy. But also, it seems that these combinations of materials are making, perhaps for an intentional sensor baffle, or maybe just a coincidental combination of confounding factors. But that's what the scan will tell you, one way or the other.
I'm gonna save my determination for a reroll. I'm going to spend 3 momentum.
Alright.
I'm keeping that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here's the
5.
ship. Ship does not hit. And then here's my assist.
You want to give me a count?
Um,
Do it, you coward.
focused in observation here, or team dynamics?
Team dynamics.
We're go. Generate a bonus momentum as well then,
Yep.
because I succeeded.
And I don't generate anything else.
Gee, stingy much? No. Where's my threat? Jeez, you had a 2 in 6 chance to give me threat, and you denied me. I mean, it's just rude.
Excuse you. I believe you mean 1 in 3?
I said what I said.
Require fractions in this house.
Let's just say we're both right.
I mean, you literally are.
Technically,
Things are identical.
Exactly, see?
That was really dumb.
Sorry, could you say that one more time so I could hear you clearly? I just wanted to consider what threat spends I'm gonna do right now. And who I'm targeting. No, I'm just kidding. Math jokes. Oh, I went way too far. Way too far. Oh, duh. I forgot what that was. Okay. Sending you information now.
Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yes, the perfect music.
Wrong franchise that begins with star.
That was like the original series, like fight music.
Yeah, that was
Wait.
the
Grimlock
Kirk v.
time?
Spock.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was
Shame, shame.
Shame on you.
Yes. Jeez. And I
So much
consider myself
obscure
like-
knowledge, and you didn't know that.
I was gonna say, whoa. I'm usually on top of my TOS like minutia.
Yeah.
I was bringing some Alexander courage to the table, brah.
Yep. Hang on. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Be
that's
hard
about
to
what we-
bring Alexander Cowardice to the table, considering he's probably left the game by now.
Wah, wah. Wait.
So we didn't hear the thing that the thing that they suggested about it. Okay. Captain, this isn't just a comet. I'm detecting what looks like
For those wondering what the hell that was, that's one of the Discord sound bits that
Yep.
people can do. We in the 10th Fleet have not opted to shut that off yet.
Yet. Ah, threatening.
I'm sorry. It
Vin's been broken.
Yep, I'm sorry, that broke me.
Disruptive to a game? No, not at all.
Captain, it appears that there is structures consistent with a research outpost built into the comet. It would appear to be a derelict of some kind. For my free science officer question, is its construction consistent with any known race to the Federation database? It doesn't match any known construction methodology to the Federation databases, Captain. Is it the source of that? I assume I've also gotten, everything else that the station picked up.
Yep, they sent along that information earlier as part of the communication, but your scan reconfirms what they have.
Okay, cool. I figured as much. Okay, I have more questions. I'm quickly cross-referencing with all the other information.
Yeah. You have at least
that-
7 questions before you have to spend threat.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's a. And I also have medals I can spend.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Is there any hazard to oh, I know. Does this thing seem to have any kind of defense systems? Like, ship-to-ship combat, phaser systems, weapon systems, something that if we try to latch onto it, it's gonna shoot back at us. Or it could theoretically shoot back at us.
Hmm.
Hang on. I'm going to wait for... Was there something else you were typing, or was that it?
Yeah, that's it. Unless you wanted me to clarify it.
Okay, sorry. I saw you typing for a few more seconds, and I thought
No.
it was something else. It does appear to have self-defense systems in place. Do they appear to be powered? Now I'm starting to have to dip into our actual momentum pool.
Oh no.
Awesome. Okay. Captain, it does have defense systems, and they are indeed operational. Suggest going to yellow alert and putting shields up.
We're already at the yellow alert.
Okay. Fantastic.
Yep.
If we try to lock onto that thing with our tractor beam, it might try and fight back. In fact, it likely will try to fight back. Oh, I have a good question. Life signs.
Yep, I was just about to say.
Okay. No life signs. Which, yeah, would have come across in my initial scans, because you specifically said abandoned research base, derelict. So that confirms that. Great. Okay. Suggested what are your thoughts, Captain?
I'll look over to Lieutenant Commander. Feasibility of shutting that thing down from the inside?
We could take a team for that.
Do you think you can do it in the time allotted?
You'll have to remind me, the player, again, of how much time we have.
Several.
Does
Is our time scale?
And we haven't detected shielding yet, have we?
No.
Not at this moment.
But
Then
we have detected defensive.
Does it have shields?
I was going to ask if it has gravity as well.
I don't need gravity.
Good question.
No,
Good
but
question.
I know you don't, and I don't either. So there's the option of, if we both went, it depends on how things go.
Do you need a hull protector though?
I have a mobile emitter. That yeah.
He does have a mobile emitter.
That's what the armband thing is.
Okie dokie.
What's the question being asked with momentum?
Does this thing have shields?
Or a more adequate question might be, does this have anything that prevents transport? / would it be possible to transport over there?
Yes, is there anything that would inhibit transport?
Did you check to see if it had a breathable atmosphere?
I have not done that. And
Well, I'm
I will ask-
assuming EVs going over there, honestly.
Yep. Does it have a breathable atmosphere?
Well, Rylov was talking about he might go.
Yeah, so I was assuming EV as well.
Did we get answers on both those questions, Ben?
I'm waiting
He's processing.
for.
Yeah.
I assume that means M class. Corby. Okay. Atmosphere is breathable.
Shocking.
Always worth checking.
Was that a yay or nay on gravity?
That would be a whole different question.
Well, we asked that.
Well, we
Okay.
asked you to ask that. It is up to you to ask it.
We
That'd
we
be a
spent
whole other question. We asked that though.
we spent for
There
that
is
question.
there is no gravity.
Woohoo! Yay!
Okay, this sounds positively delightful, honestly.
Yeah.
You Starfleeters have a strange idea of delightful.
I'm not Starfleet.
Well, okay, touche.
While I'm still working on the principle that we're going ahead. So while the commander and Finn are working out the final details, I'll go ahead and have already called Ensign Sarai and Ensign Click to meet me and potentially the Centurion in a transporter room 1.
Sounds good.
Well,
I'll just say.
I'll highlight to you that you've already acted in this round. You can't do anything yet. You averted the quantum slipstream drive this round.
Oh, and if we were to
Oh,
go
we're still in
down,
the
we'd
first
also
round.
need the we'd also need to make sure we're inoculated.
What?
We can do that coming
Radiation.
back. We can do radiation treatment. We have an advanced sick bay.
Well, but if you're taking an environmental suit, right, you should be fine.
Yeah. Also, Throlic can direct. Not Throlic. Rylov can direct you. I've already directed.
Yeah, he could. He would have to. Rylov would have to direct me and then take Swift task to get there himself.
Alternatively, I could determination action direct you.
It's up to you.
I think I'll do that because I think that gets us over, and we're trying to.
Can't you only direct so many times though? You've directed twice.
I have 3 directs.
You have 3.
Jim.
My mistake.
How do you have that many?
Because I have 2 talents that give me extra directs, and you get 1 base.
There you go.
Jeez.
Yeah, I have crisis management and tactical voice that each give an additional direct.
Yeah, Throlic's very good with directions. You'll never get lost.
But tis.
So
you're directing then?
Yeah, so I'm going to determination spend towards would mission directive work here?
Yes, because you the lieutenant captain gave you instructions to deal with the
Cool.
and this is furtherance of that mission.
So yeah, I am directing the lieutenant commander and the Centurion, but mechanically, lieutenant commander, to get an away team over to that derelict.
And Haifa, you were grabbing who and who again to go with you?
Sarai and Specialist Click.
Sarai and Click. So you'll arrive there at next round because it takes time for you to get down there and for them to get to the room.
And I think do suits have escalation?
They don't have escalation. They have opportunity.
Okay. Is it opportunity 1 or 2?
1.
Then, well, I guess a good question is this kind of from Vin's knowledge of the radiation he looked up? Is this kind of radiation hazardous to me? Because we have enough for 3 suits. And we're thinking about taking 4 people. Otherwise, I'll leave someone behind.
I'm presuming I don't just do a rally action while I'm heading down there to meet you guys.
Omicron radiation could potentially cause damage depending on how dense it is in certain parts of the research facility. If it's rather low, it won't matter, but if it's high enough, it could cause damage to the device. So the closer to the source you get, the more likely your emitter's in danger.
Okay. Well, as an engineer, I always got to get into the source. So, then I'll spend 3 momentum to get me and Sarai and Click suited up, and the Centurion will have to fend for himself.
Yeah, I can hopefully figure that out.
Hopefully.
You know?
So I believe we rotate to Ryloff then, as you're beginning to race away. I presume.
Yeah.
Makes sense to me.
And, yes, well, I'm an XO now, apparently, so, I like to try a rally task in regards to, this might be entirely unexpected, but this is exactly the kind of thing that we are here to deal with, the kind of thing that we are here to assist these people with, and an excellent opportunity for everyone on this ship to prove not only that we are an effective new crew, but that we are well equipped to meet the position we have been handed.
Presence command, difficulty 0.
I'm not amazing presence command, but team dynamics?
Yep, I would take that. I will highlight that if you were a brand new Romulan liaison, there'd be a difficulty increase, but you're a proven Starfleet officer who, even though you're in the Navy, it's like, yeah, no, but this guy knows Starfleet. He knows how to, and you know how to work with Starfleet officers.
Back on Starfleet, though, people might not like that.
Yeah, some people won't mind it, but
some people won't. Some people do.
Yeah.
My reputation got reset. Like.
And 2/3 of the team are people who who have worked with him and rather well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll think that's a good thing to suggest to Sarai. I'll have to remember that for non-Achilles officers.
Oh, certainly.
Yeah.
And I'll give you a threat just to see,
Sure.
really. Amazing.
4.
Can I assist here with methodical planning, GM?
Yes.
Team dynamics.
Yep.
Oh my god.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Generate 6
What was
momentum.
the difficulty? Yeah,
0.
This was a rally task. It was literally just to try to make momentum as we're going over specifically. So I'm spending one of those to get a suit.
There you go.
Yeah.
If are y'all fine with getting some equipment with that momentum? Or did
Yeah, I
we
was gonna say we can potentially grab some equipment with that. What might you deem necessary? Bearing in mind, I do also have a decent engineering score, so I can help you.
That's the thing. When you bring Lieutenant Commander Haifa along. You don't need a decent engineering because I have collaboration engineering.
Oh, nice. I do also have spacewalk. So if anything's made harder by 0G, no.
I just regularly don't have mass, so I'm not sure that it matters. The suit has mass, which might prove a problem for me, but I don't.
Well, okay. This might be getting into the weeds then, but then how do you move the suit?
Well, you use a photonic field
Well, I
to
have-
push against the
yeah,
suit.
force fields.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not mass. It just behaves like mass.
You may move awkwardly. It doesn't. It would still make things difficult for you because your protocols are specifically for a gravity-based system, and you're in a non-gravity-based system.
Yeah, if there wasn't radiation, I would use the talent I have to transform into something that is more natural to a 0G environment.
Yeah.
But we don't have suits for that.
No, generally not. No.
Well, actually, we do. Not a 0G environment, but a 3D environment. You could use a cetacean suit because cetaceans are a, part of Starfleet. They would have suits, and cetaceans naturally move in 3 dimensions rather than 2 dimensions.
Oh my god, bring along the cetacean ops person.
No, he's talking
become
about
a
me
holographic
turning into a
cetacean.
cetacean.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that's up to the GM.
Do engineering supports automatically come with engineering kits?
Yes.
Or just chief engineer? Okay.
All engineers get kits. All security get Type 2 phasers.
Cool.
I'll grab a. I'm not sure how real bulky it is because it has the large. It has large on it, but a phaser drill because we're going into a place that has lots of rock in it, and it may
Phaser
have...
drills are like huge.
Those
Yeah.
are massive.
I mean, the one in TOS, the only one I remember seeing wasn't like impossibly big. Like
Yeah, it'd be its own dedicated backpack. It's a big thing that unfolds. It's an emplacement, but it's one you can kind of walk around with on your back, and then you'd have to plunk down and.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
You wouldn't want to have that and transporter enhancers at the same time. There just wouldn't be enough room on your back to put it.
If he deems it necessary, then he deems it necessary. I'm not going to argue with the engineer when we're very quickly getting ready for this. So
I'll take that, and I'll hand off to Click. I'll spend another one for Click to have field destabilizers.
Okie dokie.
Okay. So we're down to 3.
And I'll spend one more for Click to also carry the magnetic probe in case we run into open plasma conduits. So I'll spend those 3 in.
Get yourself nice and equipped. You may wish to note those down in Halanak Station Discord so you don't lose track of it in case we run out of time. Turn rolls over to either Ven or Kovic.
Is there anything that you want Ven to?
See. Keep sensor lock on our away team, Henson.
and
Yeah, I think that's probably it.
can you actually, if Ven could work on also determining a potential route of origin?
Yeah.
Large bodies tend to leave trails of some description, and this is tampered with, so having a origin course would give us something to follow up on later, potentially, if it can be found. Especially given this is the closest it was identified by Halanak. So anything beyond this would be new, unless I'm mistaken.
Yeah. What you doing, Ven? You have 2 different ideas thrown at you.
Chief Science, you choose.
Yep.
overwhelmed him.
Or muted.
If you talkie, we can't hear you.
And he's gone.
Yeah, the poor ensign's head exploded.
You're back.
There we go.
You have-
Yeah, I'll be doing that.
Which one? 2 options.
The first one was to figure out where it came from. What was the other?
Oh, I was just saying you could try and keep a sensor lock on the away team,
Oh yeah, that's gonna.
but that might be more relevant next round.
Good call.
Origin first, yeah.
Yeah, so I'll scan to see where it's from first. Well, its trail is still as fresh as it's gonna be. And then next turn, I'll try to maintain the sensor lock.
Even though it's not like an outright origin, if it's something to follow, that's better than nothing.
Yeah.
Reason Con, difficulty 3, assisted by Sensors Con.
Oh boy. Reason Con, diff 3, assisted by Sensors Con. Okay, I'm gonna spend a momentum.
Yep.
Sensor operations focus.
Yep.
Okay. Please, ship, come through for me. Because I have no rerolls on this one.
Ship came
Yes.
Ha! Finally. Okay, interesting.
It's possible it could have come from further than that position, but that's the nearest point along that line that lines up with where its trail seems to go.
Well, I have a trajectory, Captain. It could have come from further away, but whether it started there or passed through, we might find more information there.
Good to know, Ensign.
I believe it rolls to Kovic at that point, unless there's a swift task happening, but I don't think there is.
Oh.
Anything hanging out there that Super needs doing that I can do from way outs over here?
A good speech for more momentum.
I don't think my role does that.
No.
Is there anything that's potentially in the way of this asteroid that you might want to forewarn to move out of the way?
Well, that's a...
I don't know if that's your job, I'm just suggesting shit.
Yeah. Okay, so there's 2 things. Like, it's not in the Federation databases. I could check to see if it's in the FIS databases.
It's a good idea.
And I could also start locking the station's weapons on it, just in case.
Locking them on where it should be when it's in range, yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, we do have quantum torpedoes and devastating, whatever the hell those things are. Graviton beams, yeah. But yeah, I think I will run it through the FIS database, see if they're familiar with the structure.
Region Engineering, difficulty 3, assisted by Computers Engineering. Alternatively, it could be Science. I could see it either way.
Okay, I'm going to do Science because engineering is not great for me. Computers Engineering. Investigative techniques?
I could see that. Yeah, you're trying to do this as efficiently as possible because you're under a time crunch.
Okay. Just looking through my stuff. Okay, this is kind of a Hail Mary, but a determination spend on sometimes you have to shake the tree to see what falls down.
I would do that, except you'd be doing presence science because you'd start asking questions of the members of the various scientists aboard station, like, "Hey, do you know what this is?"
Okay,
and just harassing people until somebody gives you an answer.
Don't really have time for that. Do I have anything like directives?
The current mission directives are in effect because the station commander has deemed this thing as a threat to the planet.
Okay, so where are those?
They're not written. It's more of a anything in furtherance of stopping that thing from hurting the planet.
Yeah, I'll spend a determination towards that then.
Okay. Because there's more of an ad hoc Serena going, please deal with that.
Okay. And then I'll give you 2 threat for the 3rd/4th die.
Certainly.
Yeah, so there's 3, 4, 5. And then the station is computers engineering. Ooh, the station has very high engineering. It's pretty good computers too.
Yeah.
That is not actually a comp. It is a hit though.
Gain a momentum.
Gain 3. I spent a determination.
Oh, you did.
Oh, yeah.
It's gonna suck if it's like, nope, you don't recognize it either.
I mean, it would still be 3 momentum.
That's true.
Would it be fair to say that the Da Vinci's sharing what it found out with the station?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Didn't want to presume that, so.
So there's a, con NPC or communications NPC in the background somewhere there, madly relaying all of this. What's all happening?
Yeah, I imagine we moved up to station ops during this, and it's just like yeah, they have like 2 communications officers whose whole job it is to coordinate stuff like this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was just gonna do some like Anthony Sorkin walking and talking about the crisis on your way to ops.
Ooh, Lieutenant Captain, this looks like it might be a Savix cast cooperative design.
A not too distant relative of the Dreamcast.
Get away with you.
I mean, we don't have anything on record, but the scans, the closer scans by the Da Vinci do indicate a lot of similarities to Savix cast construction and design techniques, although this would be a kind of ad hoc, bleeding edge project. Literally, quote, think a 19th century mad science lab but powered with antimatter, end quote.
Antimatter? We're not supposed to have that.
We're not supposed to have that.
Yeah, dilithium's not a thing the FIS has. They can't do it.
I'm sorry, who did you say it was made by again?
Savix Cast, which the Interplanetary Cooperative. It's an FIS member.
Oh, okay. Is it the
But
light people or the other one?
It's
Yeah,
the aquatic.
The plant aquatics.
The plants. Okay.
Yeah. Although if
Oh.
they've been doing it, they haven't shared the information.
Did one of their
Dun dun dun. Which is, I guess, really bad for the FIS.
yeah, it sure is. Did one of their strange science experiments get loose and now it's attacking us? Oh, if that's true, heads will roll. Well, excuse me, trunks will fall.
The Savage Caster's spherical, Lieutenant Captain. They're not rooted.
Are there metaphors on Ionia?
Iosha.
Iosha. Ionia's
are.
in Greece. I bad.
There are, right. No, I understood what you said. I'm just giving you a hard time.
A new round rolls around as the facility races along, and the Da Vinci keeps up.
Does anybody else still have the course we took to get to the point on screen?
The course you took?
Where the ruler is still on screen.
Yeah, the green ruler's still on screen.
Yeah, so in a late Roll20 update, that's a new bug that can happen.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Oh yes. If an arrow is still on the screen, we learned this in Cyberpunk recently. If an arrow is on the screen when you transition layers, it gets stuck.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, basically it was screwing me up real bad because anytime one of my players would draw a line and I switched maps, then I would come back and have to refresh my whole browser to get rid of it.
I got lucky. I'm not stuck with that arrow currently.
Roll20, you're such a stable and enjoyable platform to use.
But I didn't deal with Foundry. But new round, new choices.
I think I'll say away team probably takes lead on this round.
No,
Yeah, I'm looking
over
for
first.
who has the best science, because
Oh.
it would be to scan. So we're trying to take control of this place, right? Or we? That's the objective.
If possible.
Or at least disable its defenses so that the Da Vinci can tractor it.
Yep.
All
I guess
right.
primary is disable defensive, secondary is if gain control.
Yeah.
So we need to figure out. I guess, Jim, can you describe what we beam into?
You haven't beamed yet?
Yeah, we need to be beamed.
Oh, okay. I thought okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the tokens were moved. I got confused.
Yeah, I also thought we were beaming between rounds.
No,
you
you-
still need to
Because you have to do the beam roll itself, and your shields are still up.
Oh yeah.
I know someone who could do that if they were asked nicely to.
Mm-hmm. What are you thinking?
They can
Talora?
do everything. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just because our engineer support is currently with the team, so
I think we ought. Do we not have an emergency engineering hollow?
we do. But she can also just do the reading and get a focus that's appropriate and use her science to do it.
Stealing jobs from holograms, typical organic
I don't
behavior.
think we actually do have an engineering hologram.
No, I didn't make an engineering hologram because I knew you were going to be here.
And we have a ton of engineering points between us.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, get her to do it because she doesn't even count as crew support.
It's true.
So whose turn is eating it is getting her to do her thing. That's why that matters. It matters for turn order and stuff like that.
Yeah, that might be me, unless someone from the
Yeah,
station
I
wants
was
to?
going to volunteer to do that because I don't think anyone on the station has anything immediate to do right now.
Yeah, go for it.
All right. What's the roll?
Uh,
Engineering.
Control engineering. Difficulty is presumably she's doing this from the transporter room.
Yeah, she could
You're
put us
on a
there.
pad. You're not going to a pad. The sensors over there are weird. And we'll say that the Shackleton's being annoying today.
Mhm.
Sensor plus engineering. Control engineering, difficulty 4. Sensors engineering to assist. I presume you're minor acting, shutting off the shields or asking the shields to be shut off.
Yeah. I'm activating. Did the reading right?
A momentum.
Which, yeah, one momentum, which turns it into a control science task.
Oh, there you go.
And you have a focus.
What focus? Oh, it gives
No,
you.
Oh,
it
you just
gives you a
automatically get
focus.
one.
All right.
That makes it even better. You just get a focus.
Yeah. Talon OP, please nerf.
Science.
One threat, 2 momentum.
Boop. Ba-doop.
I don't know if I've ever seen something like that.
Wow. And
This is why I like Talora. She always rolls like this.
methodical planning on an assist here.
Yep.
I don't think it matters.
See, this is why she has the reliable trait.
Yeah. That's an additional bonus momentum, so difficulty 4. Oh, and there's a ship too.
Yep.
I can't believe that roll either. I'm not gonna lie.
Give us another crit.
Second die was a crit.
2, 4. Yeah, no, that is 6 gain. So 2 float.
Yeah. 6 gain plus the bonus that I generate for succeeding on my assist.
3 float.
3 float, yeah.
What we do.
Okay, can I spend an advantage that I transport them to a place that's safe and secure?
You could, yeah.
Okay, just to like make sure they're not ganged up on by enemies or. Why is there a big black box?
That's where we're going.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
gonna be
okay,
our map.
okay. I didn't know if that was like a Borg cube or something in reading. Does anyone else have? Does anyone else have other ideas for things to? Spend?
Maybe spend another 2 for the advantage that you keep a lock on them while
Yes.
they're over there.
That works for me. I will spend an advantage that I have honed in on. I am protecting the hive. I have a solid lock on all 4 of them, and at the flick of a hat,
She's been around Click too much.
I'll give them back.
Yeah, I'll take that.
I mean, after the one time she had to stop him taking like solidly illegal tech on an away mission. Because she would get in trouble otherwise.
I mean, he almost got away with it. You have to admire the gumption, but, you know, I caught you, so I have to stop you, but, you know, still, good try.
I would have gotten away from it, too, if it weren't for that pesky Romulus.
Who then saved your life multiple times, so get over it.
Next mover.
I mean, well, you're on board now, so
Away team.
Yeah.
You beam into what appears to be a. Well, at first you beam in to existence and you find yourself floating in the air a little bit, as you find yourself in a rather large metal wonderland of tables, free float, and tables that are bolted into the floors. Lab racks are bolted into the bulkhead walls. However, the various devices, beakers, and mechanical and electromagnetical devices are drifting in the air, dancing in front of you, as you seem to be in some sort of large workshop. But you're not you're not getting any pings of danger from your suit because you're not close to the source of the radiation. You seem to be in one of the various workshop lab spaces aboard.
Well,
Well, the inertial dampeners are working.
GM, I'm thinking, would it be like a con task to try to find another place in this area?
Like in the station?
Yeah.
In the lab, I should say. Yeah, it would be. It'd be like a reason con of some kind. Yeah.
Okay. I'm not that great at con, but Sarai is. What about you, Rylov?
I've got a 3.
Okay, so I'm thinking, yeah, High Say Centurion, I think you should take Specialist Click and try to find the bridge or operations area. I'll take Ensign Sarai and try to find main propulsion or engineering. Because just on a glance, I think we've got a derelict station that's lost main power. That's why we don't have gravity. All these floating things around here indicate to me that gravity would be the normal situation under normal power usage.
Wait, but there are. Hang on. But there.
Yet, if inertial dampeners have to be working, because if the station is under thrust, things wouldn't be floating.
So here's my line of reasoning. Here's my line of reasoning. A, the defensive systems are active, meaning that this place does have power. B, this is an aquatic species. They probably don't need gravity.
They do. Their planet has gravity.
Yep. There's also no water here.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, things. If the power was out and the ship was moving, there would be a down.
Mm-hmm. It seems quite like there is
that would only be if you were under acceleration. If it's pure momentum, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference.
Either way, the plan of divide is sound for an engineer and security minded to head to bridge and main engineering. So the two places we would need to secure to be able to power down or disable respective things. So
then I'll ask Lieutenant Sarai, help me find main engineering.
The token doesn't say lieutenant.
It doesn't, because I don't respect Vulcans. Is she a lieutenant now?
It was Ensign, actually. No.
No.
Ensign.
Did I say lieutenant?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was like, wait, she did get promoted. No, she did, from cadet to ensign. That's right.
Yeah, I was going to say. Like, what happened in those 90 days? Reason plus con difficulty of 3 to navigate your way to engineering, you say? And I imagine you're using your turn to power Sarai, basically?
Perhaps since Halanak has determined the potential design for the station, they could transmit to us most likely routes and areas to find bridge and engineering.
Fair observation, specialist.
Do we want to spend 2 for that, like as an advantage?
Or if Kovic is going to roll for it himself, potentially.
Yeah.
I mean, Kovic might also want to roll for click later. So if we can advantage it, we might allow a click roll.
That will require someone to actually transmit it to the await for. No, you know what? I'll just make it charged too, because it has been looked up. Kovic already made the realization and would have communicated that to Da Vinci by presumption, because you're allies. So you could spend 2 and say, you quickly ping the Da Vinci. Da Vinci goes, we have that on file. We just never transmitted it.
GM might do that.
Roger.
I believe bridge and station are also currently communicating with each other. As
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah, I think there's an open link.
So
We never did close it.
who is moving in this among the away team? Because I know you wanted Sarai to do something, but that's a support. A player's turn needs to be eaten for that person to do something.
I'll do that.
Okay, yeah,
Ben
you
can
could
do
all
that. Either of
I
us
was
can
going
do
to
that.
ask if Ben wanted to run his cadet.
Then is BRB.
Then,
Oh, yeah, he is be right back, so never mind. Go ahead.
I will do that.
Boop.
Throw. This is Reason Con.
Yep.
Pretty good at that. Athletics as a focus to get there.
This is more you not getting lost.
Internal security.
Comp increase. I'd take it though on comp. Because he's kind of guessing what they would likely do in one of their facilities.
Take a threat.
Certainly.
And GM, I assist here as Thralic with methodical planning,
Okay.
which gives Thrall an additional reroll. She has the bold one as well, so she can use that one first. On hits, okay.
So 4 created?
6, 7. Yeah, 4 created plus a bonus. Two float.
As you approach into that room, you find you are fairly close to that area. Your suits immediately start warning you that you're heading into a heavily irradiated area. And that one should exercise caution and minimize contact with source. You can pull back before you actually go into the room and do something at the door while you're, if you go in, you'll likely take some radiation damage, but your suit will eat one of it because it will shield you from some of it.
Yeah.
But you're going into the room where the power source is, and it's radiating tons of Omicron radiation.
Before we get any further, can we say that Click gave off the magnetic probe? Because I don't think you're going to need that if you're not going to main engineering to Sarai.
Sure.
Is that going to cost anything?
That'll cost you 1, basically. An extra minor, but Sarai kind of grabs it from him as they separate.
Cool. 1 for question of how quickly is this radiation going to hurt specifically Saral. She's thinking about herself here, I think. As a Vulcan.
At the end, if you end your turn in there, you're looking at 3 challenge dice piercing 1.
Okay. Well, I think she'll look over to the chief engineer and say, it's your call, sir.
I'll handle it from here. It's all right. Stay nearby in case I need the equipment you're carrying, but you don't. You're not required. You'd be standing by.
Aye, Commander. I'll cover you from here. And that flow will go away.
Next mover.
So, do I need to move up to where Sarai is?
I'm presuming with her role that she's able to guide you to where you need to go. This place isn't terribly that big.
Okay. Well, then I'll go into main engineering.
You step through the doors, and you see the alarms go dee warning, dee warning over and over at you, which eventually you just tune out or mute because it's just going to do that the whole time you're inside. When you step into the room, the 19th century metal horror or cluster show transforms into a blackish greenish twist of metal that and duranium, which is not duranium steels, which is not a thing that the Savix cast use except in their starships, and even then it's not the same. You see computers that they don't use, and you see in the center of this very cramped room what appears to be a cylindrical tube with a pulsing green globe of some kind that is sort of this greenish yellowish pulse of bright, less bright, bright, less bright, bright, less bright, and you can see that there seems to be some sort of fluid that is leaking out of a crack in the tube, and you can see that it is it has drained a significant amount. About a third of the tank is gone. The globe itself, hello cat, the globe itself is not touching bare air. And you can almost see a haze, almost like of this sort of yellowish greenish air just directly around the tube, almost like vapor that seems to be just huffing away from the thing.
What kind of reactor does this look like?
I'll give you insight engineering difficulty of 2. I won't take this as you using your action. This is just you seeing something on site and trying to guess what it is.
Because if it's antimatter, this place wouldn't exist anymore. So it has to be something I'm unfamiliar with. That was reason engineering or insight?
Insight.
Insight. Either EPS power systems, in case it's plasma, or warp core systems.
Warp core systems.
Okay. Take a momentum.
Yep.
No luck.
You're not sure what you're looking at. It's a power system. You gather that much.
All right, then I will move to a central console and see if I can get a hand on what the problem is.
Reason engineering. This will eat your turn. Difficulty of 2. And don't worry, the ship will try to help you. Well, the computer, but you know.
It's part of the ship, part of the crew.
Nah.
Same focus?
Yep.
Take another momentum.
Certainly. It helps. I wasn't expecting that. This thing's a piece of crap. So you gain 2 momentum off of that. It would seem that you are looking at a antiquated Romulan style warp core. Before they actually did singularity drives, cores, they used a certain type of various minerals and in combination with certain dilithium. But the problem was they didn't purify it, so they added things to cause a reaction that was controllable. The problem is, and the reason why they abandoned it is because it's that fluid there is sort of a makeshift goo buffer that is meant to shield the dilithium globe that you're seeing from actually contacting the open air and touching actual matter, at which point... so you're actually looking at a very slow warp core breach. And that's why it's leaking Omicron into the air.
As in, there is antimatter here, and we are some indeterminate amount of time away from experiencing annihilation.
Yep.
I mean, if I had to determine, it's probably exactly as long as it would take to reach the planet.
No,
As
no.
a rough guess, it's probably how long we've got.
Primarily, it seems to be some sort of
because-
a cushioning goo made of 247th element.
Yeah, I don't think it's a weapon. Like this was intentionally done as a weapon. It's more like the impact will cause the
Perhaps.
warp core explosion to finish. All right, I'll spend 2 for a swift task.
Does it make you feel better knowing we've got something similar on the ship right now?
2 momentum. Okay, what you doing with your Swift?
I'm initiating ejection procedures.
You
Guess
know...
They didn't build that in.
Well, here's the problem. There is an ejection protocol. It's not a very smart one. See, what it will do is it will evacuate the fluid and the orb out of the vessel. At which point the fluid will free itself from the vessel. The problem is it will detonate eventually because of the minute even a tiny particle of space dust, anything touches this thing, and the antimatter will just it'll annihilate and cause a explosion. But it won't instantly annihilate. It'll just hurt things that are unshielded. But that won't happen immediately. It will turn into it turns into a challenge dice tick down, or at the end of every round I roll to see if an effect occurs. Otherwise, the sort of goo around it is still around the orb and hasn't quite freed itself. The orb hasn't quite freed itself away. But eventually it will. Eventually the orb will pull away and then it will react with something.
Okay.
But you can eject it in a sort.
I'm confused. If I eject it, and then the station continues through from its momentum, ends up in the next zone, right? The ejected core won't be next to us anymore.
Right. So it would. You'd only be worried about that very first round, where at the same time it's leaving that zone, this might detonate with an effect. At which point it would still take the damage. But if it's the next round or any round afterward, it's like at that point it doesn't matter. There's just this little thing here that will just detonate on its own because it only hurts the zone it's in. So it's only that very first round you'd care, unless someone moved it or whatever.
I mean, you could see if it's possible to stabilize.
Alternatively, what's your engineering? It's like 5 or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. I will point out there... Oh, you can't. Never mind. I was going to say you could... there is rules for shooting your warp core at something, but that implies that you have some sort of tractor beam system. This place doesn't have that, so never mind. This is Dr. Frankenstein's lab with an antimatter core in it.
We have a magnetic probe, which allows the direct manipulation of antimatter. If I can get Ensign Sarai in here with the magnetic probe, is there access for us to activate the probe, and is there a containment vessel that's still capable of being used? Like, if I can control the antimatter, is there a place to put it?
Whoops, hold on. For
Or
two...
at least... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Whoops, someone else started grabbing it. Sorry, I grabbed it from you. There is a way to open there is a way to kind of open a little gap so the goo will start flowing away quickly, but you could try to grab it and then put it into a container. For 2 momentum, there can be a container that's not broken or is not too far away from the main core that you could be used. So for 2 momentum, there can be a vessel to put it in that's nearby. Because remember, everything's drifting and floating around and stuff.
All right. Well, is there anything I can do to set that up before Sarai gets here, or with Sarai having the magnetic probe, do I kind of have to wait for them to get here to proceed? Because otherwise, I won't take I'll give the momentum back, and I won't take a swift task because I haven't done anything.
Yeah, you could do a task, like create an advantage that you're set up, so that way the moment she's ready to go, you can pop the door and she can immediately start doing stuff, rather than waiting for you to do your thing.
Okay, so she'll her task will resolve this problem, because I've already set her up for it. Right.
Yeah, you would just have to do for your swift, it would be a control engineering difficulty of 2, assisted by the ship. And normally I pick on you for 0G, but you're touching a console. That's you being in 0G isn't really affecting this.
Okay, so we're eating those 2 momentum then?
For the containment vessel?
Yep. I'm guessing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. It would be diff 2, but your swift tasking is diff 3.
So how much momentum do we actually have?
3.
That would be it. Yep.
Okay. Then I'll spend 1. Yeah, I'll spend 1.
Gotcha.
Either computers or warp core systems.
Computers, yeah.
Oh.
Nope. You're short by 1 by the look of it.
Then I
can assist here with my wonderful talent.
You can, yeah.
How do you assist?
Methodical planning.
Oh.
Yeah, methodical planning. Which also will give you a reroll because I have advisor.
Sure.
Because you're not operating outside of Thrallick's plan.
Nope.
Alright, well, now that I'm actually back on my computer, I can roll my assist die.
Time for the captain to finally do something. No.
Yeah, no kidding. I've rolled so few dice this game. I'm just going to Christopher Pike Medal of Valor, make it a 1.
Okay. So you get 2 hits automatically. So you gain 1 momentum. Yeah, you have set up the protocol so that way the moment, and you're able to at a motion, so I can nod to you and you can activate the system to open the door.
Yeah, then I'll call Ensign Sarai. You are needed.
But unfortunately, Sarai has already acted, so it goes to someone else who is making a move.
Sounds like I'm probably making the lead for Click to get to, or Click and I both to get to the bridge. With that helpful map advantage.
Reason plus con difficulty would be 4, brought down to 3 because of the map. Whose turn? Who is doing the charting role, as it were, the navigating?
That would be Rylov, I believe, because it's con, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Unless Click's got a higher con.
2.
Yeah, Rylov's got a 3, and you probably don't want to assist because that'll eat your action.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, fair.
Yeah, because we're in combat turns, yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
No, you're fine. I appreciate the offer, Click. You're too energetic.
Click is like just crawling on whatever random surface.
Yeah. Is there any difficulty increase due to zero gravity there?
No.
Okay, I have to ask.
You do,
Got
yeah.
the thing.
The bridge has water.
Click just gonna lap it up like a. Start drinking from the water bowl. Investigative techniques to make sure I'm following this map correctly to the right end result.
I'll take that.
And I will spend 1 momentum. And because there's no zero gravity thing, I don't believe weightless as a trait helps either.
No.
Would scout though?
Yes.
Okay.
Would Romulan?
No.
Like, I hadn't thought about asking that one, but yeah. I think the Star Navy one would be more appropriate than the Romulan one.
But no. You get to the door.
I believe that makes 1.
Why would it make 1?
Scout.
Difficulty.
Oh, right, yes. You do approach it. You notice that there is an airlock system between the chamber you're in and the bridge. Well, the bridge area, the operation area. As you notice that the other room is filled with fluid, presumably water.
Our Eva suits let us.
We should be fine.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know if I want to presume or be paranoid that there isn't a force field in place on the door, or some kind of possible thing to keep the water in
It's
there.
an airlock, he said.
Oh, airlock system.
Or I
Right,
guess
yes,
a water
okay,
lock.
yeah.
Water lock would be more
that's
accurate,
still
yeah.
an airlock. Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
So do you...
Okay, we'll be fine. Yeah, we'll go.
Is it big enough for both of us?
I'll say no. Only one person at a time can cycle through.
What if Click's on the ceiling? Then Ryloff's on the floor.
No, it is quite a tight fit. Like, even Ryloff will have to squat a little because it's meant for Savix cast, not
That's true. That's true.
Romulans.
I appreciate that image, though.
It's very good.
Duck down a bit.
Oh my god.
Chitter, chitter, chitter. I do not like how close you are, man. I won't eat your head. Yet.
All right, Click, go ahead. I will follow you as soon as I am reasonably able to.
Okay. Click will move into the lock and cycle it.
Okay, eating Kovic's turn.
Sure. I don't think I'm going to have to, yeah.
Boop.
We could get you in there faster, potentially.
Ow.
Well, I have directs.
You have
Yeah,
what?
you could swift direct.
Directs. I'm currently an XO. I have a direct, right?
Oh.
Yeah.
Yep, and mission commander, either way.
Okay.
I get fancy things now.
Yeah.
So you're
You can
so
also
you're
replenish people's determination if they use it.
Yeah. I was gonna say I could reasonably spend 2 for the extra action to direct him.
Sweet kitty.
I heard sweet kitty, so I heard nothing what you said.
I could reasonably spend 2 to direct him. Sorry, my horrible monster. Yeah, you is demanding attention. But yeah, 2 momentum for swift task to then direct click to pass through without using his action to do so. So he has more time on the other side, as it were. Or less time if that happens to be what is needed.
Bloop.
And then it floods the room you're in, and you swim forward into the large chamber.
Okay. I guess I'm looking for control surfaces.
Insight plus... I'm just gonna grab this. Whoops. Oh, shoot. That's all I meant to do. Boop.
We have 2.
And you're looking for controls, are you?
Any... I don't suppose there's any, like, dead Savix cast bodies or anything floating in here.
You're
Is there
looking...
an empty
There is not.
there any live ones?
No. Insight Command Engineering, difficulty of 3. Would be 2, but you're kind of looking through the very misty and murky water, as it seems that something's leaked into the water and is making it hard to see in here.
Ugh. Oops, that's Kovic.
Now, is this still under my direct or under his turn?
Under direct.
Okay, nice.
Reckless Scavenger is a trait because he's used to, like, figuring stuff out on the quick.
Yep, I'll take that.
Okay, cool. Steering.
He's just doing everything on the quick, really.
Yeah, it's true. So I got 12 years. Take a threat for the third die and bold. Do not think my focuses will apply.
Are you in communication with Haifa?
I'm assuming our suit communicators would work.
Yeah, you could reasonably be in communication.
Well, I don't know if I have a focus, but I could bump your engineering.
Engineering's 4 as is.
Yeah, it's not needed if you don't want it.
I mean...
He has collaboration, that's why he's pointing it out.
Okay. I mean, that's fine. Yours is 5, I'm assuming?
Yeah, and this is to investigate the area you're in, right?
Right, I'm sussing out the control systems.
Oh, maybe a focus in cultural studies, being aware of how other species interact with computers.
Could you give me a focus?
In cultural studies, if the GM accepts it, yeah.
It's part of collab, yeah. I would take it.
So yeah, 5 and a focus.
Okie dokie. Let's see what we got. And I will fish. Okay.
Generate 1 so far.
Oh, and that cost a momentum to do.
Oh, well, it goes back down.
Yeah.
And the direct gets to assist too, yeah.
Yep.
And that's always prison's command, correct?
Generally, yeah.
Unless you want to argue for something else, but I guess it's default.
I mean, I could make an argument for prison's engineering. It's the exact same role, though.
Yeah.
In this case, engineering makes most sense, though, given what we're dealing with. Just narratively.
Yeah, you gain it. You gain it.
I believe it actually has to be commanded. I think there's a talent to change it to other things. For direct, specifically.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
That's for later.
Yeah. I know most of the talents that interact with, like, directs specifically require command.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm just specifically remembering one that lets you roll security instead, and because there's the one that lets you specifically change that. Yeah.
There are a variety of control consoles in here that don't become immediately apparent to you, but between the collaboration with Haifa and Ryloff's suggestions, you're able to figure out which one of these banks. There's no clear hierarchy of which one is the command. Like, they don't lay their things out like that. But one of them is, you're looking around like, no, the controls look like something that would have to do with controlling the station as a whole for navigational and strategic purposes.
Right. Okay, so...
No, mine. No. Get away. Here,
Well, okay then.
there. You can go get them over there. You don't steal from me. Does Click wish to do something with his actual turn?
I was thinking of seeing if I could find thrusters to change the station's course.
Either that or deactivate the defenses.
Yeah. Our main objective is to disable the defenses.
All right. Yeah,
Because
so
that
I
was
will.
preventing the ship from tractoring.
Yeah, let me see if I can't suss out how to shut down the defensive systems.
Then again,
That
thrusters might
seems-
be engineering as opposed to security.
That seems
true.
unnecessary.
Hey, with that much said, it is always necessary. Control security difficulty 5 to shut down the weapon systems.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. When I realized it was defensive systems, as I was saying, I was like, that's a security task, isn't it?
Yeah.
And
If you want to try thrusters, by all means.
Yeah, I mean, it might be better.
complication increases to 3 because you're moving around in this water and you have this weird buoyancy non-grav thing and the water's sloshing in weird ways. It's sometimes your hands drift when you're not expecting it.
Huh. That seems annoying.
I'm sure Click has the determination to persevere through that.
Literally. It's about the best way he could do the...
You're in a 0G swimming diving tank. That is a weird combination of physics, but anyway.
Yeah.
You don't have to do the security task if you would rather try something else and that route will come in next round. But you are always free to try.
Yeah.
5, comp 3.
I mean, you'd be getting an assist from Thralic.
It's true.
Yeah, that's true. It's not
love this
terrible.
talent.
He's rolling 13, which is not the worst, but... Okay, let's
Also,
give it a try.
suggestion.
Mhm.
You might be able to parlay the Zindi trait into a decrease here.
Okay. Just because of
Well, that's in the aquatic. The insectoids never really operated in the water.
Right, but the Zindi all, cooperate now. And because the insectoids have genetic memory...
Mine was just going to be that because he's an insectoid and can crawl on various, surfaces at whenever, that it's not as disorientating to him because he can just kind of position himself.
Like you can grip yourself against the floor in the desk with like 3 points of contact, and then the other hand's doing something.
Right.
Yeah, you can move like hippos. For hippos, they don't swim; they just bounce along the bottom of the ocean or the river. You can do that.
Wait, I thought they lived in my kitchen and stuff and stole my chips.
Yeah, they're really tiny.
Really tiny.
And hungry.
Oh, it's tiny house hippos. Sorry,
So
I got them
hungry.
mixed up.
So hungry hippos.
Do you wish that to decrease difficulty or your character's lifespan? I mean, comp.
Let's just bring the difficulty down.
Okay.
And I will also spend determination on the value protect the hive, because that's a hive that it's going to smash into with all.
And it is a hive you're supposed to be protecting. That's true.
right.
Yep.
Okay. And then what are we looking at? We got 3 Joe-mentum.
Click is horrible, but Click is great.
Click's amazing. I love Click.
Yeah, Click is a lot of fun. Okay, let's do 2 momentum for the 3rd/4th die, and 1 momentum and 2 threat for the 4th/5th die and bold. I do not think I have a focus that will apply here, unless you'll take fortifications or small arms.
Fortifications at complication increase.
Nah, it's already comp 3. Yeah, okay.
I mean, I believe I can give you a determination as well if you need it.
You can only replenish someone's determination as they're using it as X.
Yeah.
Got it.
Okay, so let's...
It's a weird
see what
one.
happens. Okay, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the nose.
Nice.
Or, no, actually, it's diff 4 now, so 1 gain
Generate
plus Thralik's assist.
Yeah.
Which gives you a reroll.
Which does give you a reroll.
Duh.
If you're inclined to feel spicy today, yeah.
Haha.
GM, do I have increased comp on this one? I'm not there. I'm not, like, having a problem because of the water.
The complication still comes up because Click is the one who's thinking about the plan that you gave him. And it's like, great plan. You didn't think about the damn water in here, did you? Like, well, I didn't know that was in there.
Well, I did, you see, actually.
Yeah.
I just gained 4.
Apparently you did. Like, oh wait, there was that extra briefing that we had the other day. Who knew this would come up?
Yeah.
I believe we had 0, so it would be a 4 to pick one up.
Yeah, but there's the one float.
Oh, the float
through there from my success.
You are able to deactivate the self-defense systems.
Click to Da Vinci. Defense systems are deactivated.
Thank you, Specialist.
Next mover. Calling last round. So the only player whose action has not been eaten is Ven. Ven's the last move for the round.
Is Ven here? Ven is not.
Ven is muted.
Ven has died.
BRB.
I'm here.
Oh, he's back. Never mind.
I'm here.
Oh.
I just don't quite know what to do because I was gonna do the thing with getting the transporter lock, but that was done last round. So
maybe activate a security NPC and get a tractor beam on the station, because that's currently within Throllic's plan.
yes. Let's see what there is. Oh hey, we have a security hologram now. Oh no, that's a scientific hologram. We don't have a security
We do have a security
hologram.
hologram. It's ETH.
Tactical.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
because there's science and security, so.
Yeah, I guess that'll do.
Not that they have a focus for ship tactical systems, but they'll do.
No.
Yeah, giving them phased Nadion particle beams was really specific.
That is shockingly specific.
Control plus security, difficulty 2, assisted by weapon security.
Like, do we even have that as a weapon system?
That's what phasers are. That's the technical term for phasers.
Why didn't you just call it phasers then?
Yeah, I was just going to say because no one knows what you mean unless you.
Hey, I
Because
did.
Phased Nadion particle beams is exactly what whatever engineer who whipped this up thought was a perfect thing.
Yep. Makes sense.
What I'm telling is this guy needs to be shoved into a locker or two.
Harassment is not the way of Starfleet.
It's not harassment. It's tough love. Very
It's called first year.
I don't know. I've seen lower decks. I think harassment may be the new way.
It's a new way when the profs aren't looking.
I'm gonna spend 3 momentum.
3 momentum being spent. Plus the ship.
Yep. I thought, aren't tractor beams structure security?
Yeah.
Yes, you're correct. So it should be structure security. Yep. One more.
The ship insists on being weird.
The ship insists on being weird.
It's even worse because it keeps rolling 2s on the second die.
I mean, Ven, do you want to re-roll here with my methodical planning triggering advisor?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so you have a re-roll on the 19.
Why did I close? Oh wait.
And I have a re-roll on that. Don't worry. There we go. To float.
The Da Vinci A locks its tractor beam onto the facility and is able to arrest its impact course And given that you're no longer nearly as crunched as you need, it is, I'm willing to say, fair containment by Haifa and Sarai to grab the core and secure it, because I presume that's your next course of actions, to prevent the core from detonating and such.
Yeah.
The scene will end here. Is there anything you wish to do from that tractor beam roll before I cut to the final scene?
I think I'm good. I'm good.
I could recommend potentially attempting to assist the stability of this rock base.
Yeah.
Given
Stabilizing
its,
tractor beam, basically.
Yeah, using its essentially, it is something that grabs and keeps you in place to help keep everything in regards to its exterior, its own structure, somewhat in place. If that makes sense.
It's up to you, Vin.
This is something that's been in some way damaged, presumably, and sent this way. So I'd rather like to keep it in one piece, to help it keep in one piece.
Like advantage structural integrity with the tractor beam.
Yeah. I mean, we also have the float, so I'm like, it can't hurt.
Yeah. Then you good for that spend?
Fed?
Yes.
Are you good for that spend?
What do you need me to do?
The suggestion was that you could spend the 2 float to add a structural integrity as part of your tractor beam, but the final call is yours because you're the one who rolled.
Okay. Okay. Yes,
We have 2 float.
I heard that. I was just like confused, like, why are they asking me?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're the roller. We're not trying to.
Yeah.
We're offering suggestions, not
Yeah.
saying what's happening.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Boink, and you drop down to 5. As you do, as your tractor beam does keep the thing from the rock upon which this is built into, doesn't fly apart from its rather damaged situation. We cut to the station operations of Halanak Station. As Kovac and Sarana look out and to the main hologram in the center of the room as it displays the movements of the Da Vinci, and then you're listening into the subspace communications between them, which is a weird thing for you guys to do. That's not... quantum entanglement communicators are more normal and unlistenable. You can only those who are tuned to that particular quantum frequency hear anything, but you're able to listen in. And anyway, there's a long story about QECs. But anyway, normally you're not able to listen into people. In this case, you are. And it seems they have succeeded, and sensors confirm that they've brought the comet to a stop.
Is there like a wave of cheers throughout the room?
Various people flicker their lights. The various Opentari change different shades of bioluminescence, indicating joy and mild impressment. In the plants, the various Savix cast kind of slump into their piles of plant form as they seem relieved, because they were especially uncomfortable with one of their research bases being lost, even though they're not sure how that base got out there. They're very confused, but hey, if it's out there and it's one of theirs, then they really don't want to lose it.
Yeah, Sirana will just turn to Kofak and say, well, maybe the Starfleet being here won't be so bad after all.
They have their uses.
Aye, they do. They sure do.
Doors open, and wearing the badge of the Parliament of the Free Information Sphere, proudly upon his outer skin, draped with a sash that has additional medallions of valor and military achievement. Comes the rather deep purple Upantari of Virus, the presiding speaker of the Free Information Sphere. No one rises to attention or anything like that. They note he's here. They see him, and they look over to see if he's wants to ask something, and he doesn't. When he doesn't approach their console, they turn back to what they're doing because they're busy. He very slowly kind of meanders over to where the two of you are.
Oh, Mr. Speaker, what a surprise. I'm sorry I don't have any offerings to give you. This was not a planned visit. Please accept our gratitudes for your presence here.
Not at all, Lieutenant Captain. You have been very busy. It would be unfair of me to demand you pamper me. I may be an older slime, but I can manage to crawl about on my own just yet.
Yes. Well, I don't know if you've met. This is Harmonizer Kovuk, our head of law enforcement.
Presiding speaker.
Harmonizer.
What brings you here?
I was informed that the anomalous comet was being dealt with, and I wish to witness it. But it seems I have come a moment too late. It has already been fixed.
Yes, the Da Vinci of the Starfleet has intercepted it, and she'll point at the screen. Most impressively, I might add. They may have their uses yet.
More disturbingly, however, is the fact that this was apparently a Savix cast station that was using non-FIS or Federation technology, including a rudimentary antimatter drive and containment system of apparently Romulan manufacture. That begs for a bit of an investigation into the normal questions: who, what, why, and where.
I agree with you, Harmonizer. I would suggest to you that perhaps a full civil investigation be launched to determine who exactly was foolish enough to utilize antiquated and dangerous technology, especially to wit of endangering a infosphere world. And I suppose we might as well cooperate with your Federation countrymen and see about coordinating. We are supposed to work together, I suppose.
I wouldn't immediately assume this was an intentional act of malice. It seems more likely to me that this was a derelict vessel that somehow over the years managed to be pulled into the orbit of our system. If one was going to stage a terrorist attack, I have to imagine there are better ways of going about it.
True, although malicious or rather gross incompetence and negligence is still a severe crime against the infosphere.
Not to mention that whoever was doing this failed to, even if this was some sort of scientific experiment, as far as I'm aware, FIS law and general practice encourages and indeed in some cases requires reporting and sharing such information.
Indeed. I consulted with Parliament during the events to see if there was anything I could grant to you, and I am sorry to say that no one in Parliament knows anything about this research facility.
Well, and it is entirely possible that this was made to look like Savik's cast
Mm.
technology. The Romulans are well known as highly intelligent and often ruthlessly devious opponents. And
Doesn't
I
the-
have had...
Doesn't the Da Vinci... Oh, sorry. Continue. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No. I have some information that their intelligence service might be interested in this station and you in particular, presiding speaker. They seem to have some interest in attempting to influence you, and such influence with the Romulans could come from any number of forms.
Such a strange thought. Influencing me would do
Again-
little if the Parliament disagreed with me.
Well, Romulans may not quite understand that. But in any event, we don't know anything until we investigate it and find out exactly what's going on.
Well, Harmonizer, this is your role. I believe I may suggest that you act with all due powers invested in you, and if you feel that Starfleet can be of help, then you might as well utilize what talents they presume to have.
Speaker, you should really give them a chance. The Fetties aren't my favorite people either, but
They achieved
well.
they achieved in thousands upon thousands of years what we achieved inside of 10.
Engine-wise, but I think you will find their science is broader and more advanced in some directions than yours are in others, so a cooperation, I think, might be fruitful. But again, that's your realm of experience, not mine. Mine's
I do not presume to
asking
tell.
questions.
I do not presume to force your work, Harmonizer. You're the Harmonizer. This is a criminal matter, or civil matter, hopefully. Until such time it becomes a military matter, this does not involve... I mean, obviously, I imagine the Lieutenant Captain. I will not presume. The Lieutenant Captain will provide any militant resources required. But this is not a political question yet until the Parliament has someone to yell at. Give me someone to yell at, Harmonizer, and whoever it is, even if it is among Parliament, I want the truth and nothing unvarnished.
I'll do my best. Right now, my remit is limited to Halanak Station. I might need a broader set of authorities to look into this properly.
I imagined the Lieutenant Captain and the Starfleet will be able to assist in your endeavor. This is happening within the realm of Halanak Station's remit. Although I do suppose that the Halanak Agreement, although unsigned, perhaps this collaboration between yourself and their forces will be probative to their usefulness.
Fair enough. We'll get to the bottom of it, Speaker. Never you worry.
Yes, Speaker. This station is in good hands. Well, good appendages. Good appendages.
He reaches out a paw and taps you, and you get the sense of him being immensely amused because he knows that's something that keeps coming up. And then telepathically says, "Oh, he does have hands." And you actually notice the speaker points at you, Kovic, and then you see a color of amusement from him, which is not something he normally has. He's not normally that jolly. He's usually very serious.
I roll my eyes and light a dope stick.
Yeah. She flashes with amusement too and says, "Oh, yeah, I was speaking with some Nausicaan tradesmen earlier, and they told me a really funny joke that goes like."
Wait a minute, Nausicaans?
And with that, we close away. And the beginning of the Adventures of Halanak Station are with this strange research facility, the mystery of why it was built and why it came to this system, and perhaps Starfleet will be able to get answers. But for now, that'll be it, and we'll see you all again next time.
Yay!
Yay.
I love terrorist attacks being used by the people in power to demonize out groups.
Well, at least it wasn't being used by your character this time.
Sure, yeah.